All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I'm your host, Tony, and we are about to get started today. So here we are talking about government dependency, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go ahead and break it down in things. Government dependency versus government independency. You know what I'm saying? Because we should never have allowed America to become over bloated. We're talking about over 100% government overreaching their boundaries into our lives. When you look at the Constitution and you look at the founder and fathers, they have set this up originally to make sure that we didn't have an overreaching government and policies and unelected officials running our government system, right? When you start looking at all these things, this is what's happening. You have Americans that are aware as to what's going on, and you also have Americans that are unaware of what's going on as well. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into it. I hope you guys like my thumbnail print picture. So I said to myself, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. So I hope you guys are having a good morning. I rest very, very well. I slept well and things. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. And let me see here. Hold, give me one moment. Got my bottle of water that I picked up today. I've been drinking on these though too. Cucumber and watermelon drink, which is really, really good. I'm not a sponsor of the company, but I drink their beet juice though too. So I try to do some things that are healthy. I know it doesn't look like it, but yeah, so cucumber, watermelon is an excellent detoxer as well. But we're gonna go ahead and dive right into it, ladies and gentlemen, go a little bit further and things. So yeah. So with the government, as I said before, when we're talking about the uniparty, because like I said, we have a very, very good reason not to trust, let's say, politicians. You know, and you see what's happening. Politicians are excellent actors, ladies and gentlemen. They know how to lie. This is what they do. You know, they can lie right in your face, like Mondami. And this is a perfect example, right? Mondami, right? This guy, Zohan Mondami, that's the mayor of, he will be mayor. He's actually mayor of New York because a lot of these stupid liberal women, mostly white, have voted for this guy, right? He promised, what's it, free busing. Thank you for the likes, though. I'm talking about Zohan Mondami, man. This is a guy here, man, that promised the world, right? And then Kathy Hochul gonna sit up here and say, "Oh, I thought they were talking about Go Bulls." She is full of shit too, man. You know, that's why we got to get her ass out of there too when the voting thing come around. Cause Kathy Hochul ain't shit either, and she's the governor of New York. Talking about she knew about Zohan Mondami. She already knew where his political alignment is. He's a socialist, communist, and she is too, because she tried to play, oh, oh, I didn't know where his alignment was. I did not know. I thought they were saying go Bulls. Go Bills, Buffalo Bills, go Bills. No, she's a liar, man. Not Bulls, Bills. You know what I'm saying? Bulls is Chicago. Sorry about that. So yeah, so this is a bunch of crap, man. You know what I'm saying? Mondami over here offering the supermarkets and stuff like that, man, Omega, I tell you, man, he's over here. I'm over here just listening to this guy, man. Zohan Mondami, right? The Muslim socialist communist, you know what I'm saying? How he's over here promising the world to the New Yorkers, talking about their ride on the bus for free. He's going to be paying them $30 an hour, right? I mean, the stuff sounds good. Talking about the supermarkets and the slumlords, and if they were not going to clean up their act, he was going to take over, right? Taking over personal property, right? What does that sound like to you? Sounds like a communist, you know what I'm saying? So masquerading as a socialist. We know he's a communist because this is what communists do. Show me anywhere where communism worked. Because all I can say is that when Cuba had it, when they had the days of Fidel Castro, why was all these people risking life and limb coming over from Cuba on a raft, coming to America? And remember when they said once they touched down in America, they considered to be US citizens, which is not true at all. But this is the lies and the deceit once again. I put that thumbnail picture up there because, you know, it's a significance when you see the person with the chain around their neck, and things like that. And this is what the black community you know what the black community represents? How they wanted America to be. Because even when they want to do something, they usually typically start in the black community with regards to the Democrats and these uniparty bastards, right? It's that's what it is, right? So they'll start in the black community first, right? So we look at disenfranchisement, we look at marginalized and so forth, crime up to wazoo, gang violence, prostitution, even the drugs that were brought in. Remember, when they brought in the drugs and stuff, they pushed it into the black neighborhoods, right? Right? This is exactly what ended up happening. In fact, you also have like the FBI agents that came in there and taught them how to take cocaine and make crack cocaine out of it. This is documented, right? Freeway Rick Ross, the real one, right? These things are documented, right? They put crates of heavy machinery. We talking about assault rifles, military grade in the inner cities of the black communities. This is a known fact. This stuff went down, right? What did they promise the blacks, right? They gave them what? Basically to be independent. I mean, to be dependent. We went from being independent to being dependent on a system that had no love for us. And I put that thumbnail up because really that is a representation for America, not just the black community, but it's a representation of America, what they're doing in America, right? When it comes down to the politics that were pushed onto us, we got donors we are coming from these corporations and stuff like that. The donors that control the political parties for a very, very long time, right? These are the things that were going on. This is way before Trump. You know what I'm saying? This stuff has been going on in America for a long time. It went unchallenged for a very long time, right? I mean, look what's been going on. You ain't never seen anyone being attacked so much. The American people are being attacked, right? Look at what the government shut down, right? Look how Chuck Schumer and the Democratic Party, right? This was a failure, right? You could thank Trump for that as well too, for getting the SNAP programs back and the other government programs going on right now. We are operating and functioning as a government should be. He's cleaning up government, he's shrinking government, so we don't have an overreach from government, right? Which should never been the case. But this is what's been going on. This is what's been going on. So I'm here to say that how Americans have been subjected and brainwashed to accept government dependency. Me and Omega was having a conversation yesterday, right? And we talked about how Americans, right, with how we have came from we turned away from trade, turned away from hard work, where we just want to sit up here and wait for someone to give it to us. And especially with the younger kids, right? I'm talking about like Gen Z. They don't believe in hard work. Sorry, I'm not gonna say that for every last one of the Gen Zs, but the majority of you guys do not believe in hard work. You don't take into STEM or any type of trade. Even with Charlie Kirk, he said it's a big waste of time when it comes down to going to school, because what are we learning in school? It's a business. You do realize this, right? It's a business, and they're giving us the business with a BS degree that don't even, oh, what is it, gender studies, liberal art bullshit degree, right? Because I mean, when you really think about it, it does not translate over to the modern day of economics today, right? Look at all the foreigners, right? They have all the tech jobs. All the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Those are the ones that are doing it, and at an alarming rate. I mean, I'm just saying though, you know? So when all this is going on, ladies and gentlemen, it is the great destruction of America, you know, until one man that stood up, and I'm gonna get there on him later, but I'm just talking about how Americans gave up independency for dependency. Who gutted America, right? Who done this, right? We pretty much know. It ain't hard to, think of who was responsible. We're talking about people, right, in government, that we, the people, are the government. We put them as our representatives. But what have they been doing? They represent corporations, every last one of them, right? Big donors. Who's going to turn down millions of dollars to set him or her and their children up? Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. This corruption been going on for a long time. I love it when they talk about no kings and fascism, but here it is. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Here it is. Modern day right now, ladies and gentlemen. Modern day right now, we were under some type of tyrannical regime that wanted to take America over. They gutted it out. Look at all the jobs, the outsourcing, right? Look at this stuff, right? It was done purposely. It was done purposely. We just think about Clinton and NAFTA. Look at what Obama did, right? They all were responsible of gutting America out. They took some of our greatest businesses, American businesses, right? And buying up American ingenuity, foreigners, right? They come in here, right? The foreigners, which have been allowed to do this. We have to think about this stuff, right? I'm walking this all down because this is exactly what it is. Our job, your job, right, it was sent overseas, right? While the devaluation of the dollar steady plummet, right? This is a what we call a Federal Reserve note. Just remember now, we don't own this currency that we are spending. Every time we spend their money, inflation goes up. Every time the government itself, I'm talking about the Treasury, guess who they go to? They go to the Federal Reserve, right? The Federal Reserve, ladies and gentlemen, is the biggest hustle, the biggest gangsters on the planet because they have done this on many nations. They control the monetary banking system. That's why most rulers or governors don't control ish. It's the central bank, which is in our case, is the Federal Reserve. And there's 12 of them in America. I've seen one of those banks, central banks in Cincinnati. They got them all 12 across the United States, and they print money for other nations too. They just don't print money for America. But this is not money, ladies and gentlemen. This is a reserve note. There's a difference between money, real money, and a reserve note. It's just an IOU that we are just spending. Don't you guys get it? I know most of y'all do. Don't take offense when I say this. I'm really talking about people that really don't understand what's really going on in the grand scheme of things, though. So this is what I'm talking about right here. I wear this hat not just to troll people, but I wear this cap, make America great again, because there was a man that said enough is enough. And I wanted to make change. I wanted to make America great again, right? This is bigger than what people really think about. He was already a multimillionaire, and I'm talking about President Trump. He was already, he could have been sitting pretty. He didn't have to take the bows and the arrows and the slings to do this, right? He really didn't because he was already a multi-billionaire many times over. He could have sat and rest like everybody else. But he said if he were to do that, we wouldn't even have an America today. And it's true. If Hillary would have won, we already know. You even had a lot of Democrats that didn't want to vote for Hillary Clinton. Why is that? This woman is off her rocker. You know what I'm saying? She did never had America in mind. She speaks pretty and make it sound very, very convincing. Like most politicians, that's what they do. Look at Mondami, right? Zohan made it very, 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 what is it? He just gave some bullshit ass promises, right? And most of the women ate it up. It was majority of white liberal women that voted for Mondami. They liked the fact about Mondami promising them $30 an hour, right? Talking about riding on the bus for free, right? Look at the stuff that he promised, right? And then all this other stuff. He said he was gonna attack the rich white man, right? This is what Mondami said. And that any slumlord, if they don't get their act together, he's gonna take it over. No one never asked Mondami, how are you going to pay for this stuff? Thank you for the like. I appreciate it, guys. How are you going to pay for this stuff today, right? How? That's the biggest question. How was Zohan Mondami was going to pay for this? Because I was asking him the same question myself because it didn't make sense. I said, he's talking real nasty to the president and slick to the president as if he has leverage. Kathy Hochul, as I said earlier, she's a hypocrite because she knew what the people were chanting. You know what they were chanting, you know what I'm saying? And she wasn't trying to say that she didn't know what they were chanting and everything like that, you know? They wanted this. They voted for this. She waited until after Jamal Hochul, Kathy Hochul, she waited until after Zohan Mondami won. And then she doubled down talking about she didn't know what the people were talking about and all this other kind of crap. You know, that's why I say I don't spend a lot of time on Mondami. I use him as an example because when you rely on government dependency, like the black community has, and look at it now, and you become lazy, you become angry, frustrated, and you hate other people that are doing well. And they're gonna say it off their own push. We already know because the government, what did they do in the black community, right? The disparity, the disenfranchisement, right? Same thing that's happening, what was happening in America. It's the same thing in the black community first, and then it started happening in America, right? Because a lot of people turned away when it was happening in the black community. But now that it's an epidemic that's going on now we got to talk. I put that thumbnail up there purposely, and I'm not just referring to the black community, but say that's gone, man. Ain't no black community no more. That's why I always call the black community the so-called black community, right? And look what's happening in America. The jobs were gutted out in the inner cities due to foreigners that came over here purposely. You guys realize that when they were given all that EBT, they're giving what, $5,000, $2,000 a month. These people, not just I ain't even just picking on people from Latin America. I'm talking about in general. And the ones, what was they doing? They were over here buying it up. They bought so much food. They set up their own businesses in their own communities off of the taxpayer dollar. You know, look at that. The Democrats hop skip over the black community, and this is why blacks really don't know the party that they support. It's the party of deceit. It's a criminal element, definitely that, right? And what they did is that they allow people to be dependent on the government, being lazy and be in hatred, right? This is the stuff that they have taught them to do, right? You have we used to have neighborhoods. Now they are hoods, right? And they just leapfrog over them. That's why I love having these conversations because the Democrat blacks that have been so loyal to the Democratic Party and other foreigners, illegals at that, got all this money, opened up businesses and stuff off of the food that was supposed to be for emergency for regular people. You see what I'm saying? The Democrats, these are their constituents. We all know this. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. These are their constituents. We know this, right? This is exactly what's going on. And it's very it's unfortunate that it has to be blatant. It's blatant now. You can see it because this is what's been going on in America. Just like with the blacks has been marginalized and disenfranchised, Americans have been marginalized and disfranchised under this wicked old system that we were under, right? You know what I'm saying? So look at it. You have jobs. Look at it. The H-1B visas. You got engineers like Omega. You know what I'm saying? He got to drive a truck now because they're not willing to pay these engineers for what they're worth. The median salary of an engineer is like what is it 99 $1,000, almost shy of $100,000. You know what I'm saying? And people that are engineers, architects in America are not being paid what they're worth. What's wrong with that picture? You know, talking about, oh yeah, we got to go and get work out of you know, and these corporations they did this on purpose because, as me and the Mega had a conversation yesterday, it will be easier for the corporations because they were at the time they were charging them $1,000 for an H-1B visa, right? And these corporations are just as guilty. They are the same donor class that donate to these politicians. They just went over there and got people from India. India is 70% H-1B visas that's coming in here before Trump turned it around and charged them $100,000 for these visas. But what I'm saying is it shouldn't have happened in the beginning. And this is a fact. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it. So as I said before, you know, we have to be mindful, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to what is going on in society right now. You know, these H-1B visas, this stuff should be for Americans. It should be for America first, right? This is exactly what it is. America first, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I love that Trump is the only president that I known in my lifetime that said America first, right? You never heard Obama say America first. You heard Trump say that. He coined that phrase. This guy is a multi billionaire. Now people going to be getting their 2K checks, their dividend tariff checks that's going to be coming from majority China and other countries. This is why it makes it possible. They say, why is he doing this? He can do it because Trump has been collecting over trillions of dollars from other nations the way it's supposed to be. Therefore, the people in America are not supposed to be taxed, right? The founder and father set it up this way, where when you look at presidents like Andrew Jackson, William McKinney, when you start looking at these guys, right? They were the ones that were doing the tariffs before. Trump kicking these economic, was it 2.0, 101 ass because they don't teach this in the school systems. Why should they, right? Because when we were under the Democrat Party, right, they made sure never teach about tariffs, never teach about this stuff. Teach about the fundamentals of how we're supposed to be paying taxes. And what do? They take our tax money, right? And what do? They take it and enrich themselves, right? And this is exactly what they've been doing. This is why they're under major heat and being investigated now or the devious things that they have done against the American people, straight like that. So you have to really understand and know what is going on. You see what I'm saying? You really have to understand and know what's going on. That's why I put that photo up in there because what you are seeing happen in the black community, happen in America, happen in the black community first, you know? So you have people, right, that have been disenfranchised, right? Look at it once again. The foreigners have enriched themselves. The illegals that came over here, got all that EBT, got all that money. I would have done the same damn thing if I was illegal. They leapfrog over the black community. Y'all were here it is. Y'all were the biggest contributors. Y'all voted Democrat. Talking about the blacks right now. The blacks majority, 92% of black women alone, hands down voted for the Democratic Party. But if the Democratic Party loved y'all so much, why did they leapfrog over you guys and gave all that EBT and other type of programs and help to the foreigners and shit, illegals that came over here? That's the bigger question. Answer that because you know you look very foolish and silly. The egg is all over your face, just like when America egg was all over their face. Because I don't consider, oh yeah, the legals have a right to come into America, but they are displacing Americans by the droves. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it, you know. Let me see here. Okay. Miss Lindsey Graham Little. Mike Johnson eyebrows, and JD Vance, let's see, facelift, Matt Getz lift, makeup because I do want to, I can't have match government, tones or whatever, MAGA, you know. But like I said before, we're not going to deflect from the conversations that we're having, and that's going to be my rule in this room from now on in. We're going to talk about what matters right now, because like I always said in the beginning, I don't trust politicians. You got to have somebody in charge to keep these politicians honest. Because you can say all that stuff, but this isn't about trusting politicians. See, you don't get it though, man. That's not what does that have to do with what I've been talking about? I not one time say, "Oh yeah, go for the." I never said that. In fact, I'm saying that you should not be trust a politician, right? At all. Look at what you got. Since we're gonna talk about it, because I noticed everybody on the right that you brought up, you didn't bring up nobody on the left. I find that rich, Stephenson. I find that very rich. I really do. You never said anything about the people on the left. Most people don't, right? I'm talking about the uniparty, right? The people, right? You know what I'm saying? I stand with you, sir, about this matter. Oh, I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you so much, Joe, man. See, these are patriots in this room that support me. And I know it's hard when you're at work and stuff. You may not catch my lives a lot. I said I was going to start getting on Saturday mornings like I used to, because the real patriots are in this room and many more. Because if I'm over here and talking a bunch of ish and making stuff up, they'll call me out on it. Am I right? You call me out on this stuff, right? I'm a stand up patriot and I love Donald Trump and his policy. No, he's not perfect. But like I said before, this is a multi billionaire. He didn't have to do this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And look at what's going on right now. He is well received, well liked regards to what he's been doing, turning America back around. I may not understand why he's keeping a lot of Chinese over here for say. You know, I had this conversation with a maker yesterday. One could say with the Chinese because a lot of them they come and get our education over here, right? And not only that, I mean that's been going on though, you know, because they take our information, they take our knowledge, and they go back to China. You know, look at all the Chinese spies and all these and so forth, right? They spy on America, they take our still our intellectual property, and they bring it back to China. Joe says, this is my first time on. Oh, I appreciate you, Joe, man. Yeah, I be talking about this stuff with Trump all the time. Oh yeah, Joe, yeah, Gregory says hi. Yeah, I say hi back to you as well, though. Hi, friend. You know what I'm saying? Joe says, I'm going to follow you, sir. I appreciate you, Joe. Thank you, man. I appreciate you very much, though. There's more and more of us now because we all are patriots, Joe and Gregory. We all are patriots, man. There's so many patriots in this room that love content like this. Because, like I said, if I was really want to do it for the money, you know, and Trump even said this. You can go in on Trump. I would have about 400 followers in this room. Dark money agents will reach out to me and pay me like they did David Pacman and Ariel and all the rest of them, right? I'm not going to sell out like that because I care enough about this country. America is the country that I know. I don't know any other country in the world that's greater than America. This is the greatest country in the world, right? Where we have access to opportunities if we know how to take them, you know? See, by being dependent and have this self-defeated mentality, look at the black community, right? Look at these other disparity. You look at it; they got a bunch of disparity going on and all that. And I came from those neighborhoods, where blaming and shaming is the norm, and that's what they did to America as well. Started in the black community first, then it spread it out to America. You know, we are now just starting to turn this ish around, which I'm happy because Americans have always been hardworking people. We had the greatest innovation here. Our ideas, our inventions. right? Started here. We were the ones that invented the VCR player. It wasn't the Japanese, it was us, right? We were the ones that came up with that disc player. For those that know, this would be the big old was it like the LP? Remember that the giant disc player before they were CD compact discs? This started here in America, right? Oh yeah, Jesse, I say hi to you too, friend. Yeah, welcome to the channel. We were the ones on the innovation, right? Joe says, I stand with the president 100%, no matter what, because there are so many people don't like him. And if you ask them why they don't like him, they can't say why they don't like him. It's true. They cannot say, you know what I'm saying? They cannot say. Jesse says, okay, yeah, the laser disc, you're right. Yep. So yeah, with the laser disc and everything, all these inventions came from America, man. We are the greatest country. God smiles on America, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got Constitution is the greatest piece of information. I'm talking about the Bill of Rights, the 27 amendments and all that. No other nation has that. We have freedom of speech, freedom, the Second Amendment rights, and all the rest of this stuff. America is a great country. You know, don't let no one else tell you otherwise. Because if it wasn't so great, well, why are all these illegals over here, right? There's people that are illegal and people that come over here become citizens, natural citizens and so on. They come over here to take the oath, right? And become a US citizen because America is like this beacon of hope and change, which I support that. When you come over here through the right pathway of citizenship, I'm all for it. I don't have any problems. I got friends. I got a friend from China, right? He is a US citizen, right? He's been living over here for years. Yeah, he could have went back to China. He said that he liked America for its opportunities, right? Let me read what you guys have to say here. Let me see. Uh, okay, good times. Okay, I'm tired of both sides. Okay, America is a slave ship. Okay, I'm tired of both sides. Well, those would be the politicians you're talking about. Let's just keep it real. Majority, I'm not gonna say this for all politicians though, good times. I'm talking about the majority of them, right? The majority of politicians are taking accept money from the super donors. And these are corporations. It's going to keep it real, right? These are the people, ladies and gentlemen. They are the ones, right? They don't adhere to us. They see with the politicians, they're supposed to be representing the people. We, the people, are the government. You know what I'm saying? And I can see how you feel like that because I don't trust politicians at all. Now I don't hate is a strong word, but I dislike. I dislike because they're trained actors. Look at them. I pulled this up before. You know what I'm saying? Well, okay, Good Time says, why is the government okay fuses with Christianity? Well, we gotta look at it though. It's a Judeo-Christianity. It's not actually a Christian nation, it's a Judeo-Christian nation, right? And things. So we got to say that first and foremost, right? So with a lot of the principles, a lot of us are Christians, follow the Bible and things like that. We have one of the great master teachers, which is Jesus. There's a lot of them, right? So it's it's the perfect. It's not perfect, but it's the best representation that in the Constitution. This is why God have always smiled on America, because if He didn't, we would have been overran, taken down. Think about that, man, for a minute. America, we have people coming in this country, but we don't have boots on the ground for foreign nations like everyone else. It's going to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? We have one of the best military in the world, even with the F-47 jet. It's so powerful with the F-47 jet. You know what I'm saying? It's the greatest air supremacy that we have. No other nation, no other country in the world can match our air superiority. It's a fact. You know what I'm saying? What make all this possible? Because the backing of God. Think about that, right? That's how I look at things, right? Let me see. I don't want to get too far behind. Let's see here. Uh, Joe says, send them back. where they come from because we Americans can't go to no other country and stay. I agree with you and get free stuff. And I'm actually furious of that too, Joe, because that shouldn't have never happened, right? It's well, once again, they sent him over here under Biden, especially. This happened under what I call it Obama Biden, under his administration. This is exactly what happened, where we had an influx of illegals over here. They got all the set asides, all the programs, end up opening businesses and stores where Americans was displaced. Now that they're being rounded up by ICE, I voted for this, ladies and gentlemen. I have. I voted for ICE. This is what we voted for. I voted for the borders being shut down. I voted for mass deportation, right? Than the world ever seen. I voted for drill baby drill, right? Which that's going to start happening very soon, right? I what is it? There's a lot of other things. I was for the big beautiful bill, right? I was for a lot of his policies because Trump policies work for America. The Rhino Republicans and the low down Democrats, their policies don't. All they know how to do is attack Trump. It's not a policy. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. Heather says, I wish our elected officials would go back to having conversations versus gotcha moments and get things done. Yeah, I agree with you. I wish that that would happen too. I do. Pink says, "Oh Lord." Pink says, "Shake my head." I hope that would mean for the low down Democrats and the Rhino Republicans. Pink. Let me see. Space says, "Shoving your God down our throats." Yeah, you talking about Islam? Yeah, I agree with you though. Space. Yeah, shoving their gods down our throats and whatever is totally criminal. Yeah, you're right about that. Let me see here. Dennis says Obama, Biden. Yeah, you're right about that. Space says, um, ever wonder why they threw Jesus to the lions or whatever? Well, it's the same thing they doing to Trump. They trying to throw him to the lions. Or we could think about it. Anybody that spoke out, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, this was what's going on. Threw them to the lions, right? This is what they do when real people that stand up. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that God ain't smiling on some of these other countries in the world. Because if that would be the case, they would have prosperity. They would be trying to come to America. Everybody going to come to America. We the shit over here. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Heather says, I would vote for it all again today. Me too, Heather. I will vote for it all over again and again and again. I sure would. Isn't that something though? I would vote all over again though, because this is what we voted for. I thank you for the likes though, too. We, as the patriots of America, we voted for this, ladies and gentlemen. We did. This is the type of stuff right here because we all wanted real change, not that phony Obama change. You know, talk about yeah for change. No, we talk about change for real about the American people, America first. All I want to see in the room saying is America first. America first, ladies and gentlemen. And Trump coined that phrase, America first. The first president, he said, I'm taking the powers from the government and giving it back to the hands of the people. Let's think about that. Why did he say that, right? Because anybody with a half a brain know that the government was running everything, a government of criminals and crooks that do the bidding of these corporations, these super donors. Look at what's coming out about Obamacare now and how Obama enriched himself tremendously. And it was like a thief in the night because we weren't aware of it. But this is what happened. They're being investigated under this stuff. Trump stopped that. You know what I'm saying? So we have a new Affordable Care Act that's going to be better than Obamacare because we wasn't benefiting from it. They were sticking us with the premiums over 1,000%. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, what the? Okay, let me see here. What else? We get caught up here. You voted for a. You can't say that, man. You talk causing slander. You causing slander. Because let's talk about it, right? Let me do the Epstein real quick. Ghislaine Maxwell, Virginia. These are the people, right? These are the people that said Trump didn't have nothing to do with it. But I understand the Democrats be reaching for straws though, because you do have two lists out here. You have the phony one that the Democrats wanted Trump to push. Trump didn't fall for that trap because there is a real list. I know some of the people on that list. I'm not going to say it right now. I want to get ahead of what President Trump got going on. But like I said before, if you were to look around and to really, really think about it, the Democrats have a big nothing burger. They done made this email up and they were hoping that it would stick. They constantly are looking for something to divide MAGA, to divide Trump's support of the people. He had the ear of the people still. Trump is the best thing that we got. You know what I'm saying? So trying to come on this chat and trying to say that, man, it shows what you don't know. You just really, really sound idiot. Just sound like a moron, you know? Because like I said, I'm not rattled about it. I know that Trump is 100% clear of this, just like with the 34 count felonies, they've been dropped and he got his money back. Ain't that a beautiful thing? All that is gone. So he never was a 34 count felon because if that was the case, it wouldn't have been dropped. It's been dropped, ladies and gentlemen. You see what I'm saying? We got a wonderful president right now that they're trying to hem all these charges up, though. Ain't that a beautiful thing? Thank you for the hearts and likes. Ain't that a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen, though? 34 count felony has been dropped. And Trump got his money back. And guess what? Trump is going to sue the BBC over $1 billion, right? Behind that J6 stuff. Ain't that a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen? You know what I'm saying? So, we're doing really, really well, though, I love it when they try to come in this room trying to discredit Trump. But look at it. Look at what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. You know? So, like I said before, we voted for this, right? We voted for this and we got real policies. But and guys, I agree with you because that's what it is. They really, really wanted, right? We voted for this type of stuff. They didn't they voted for losers. You over here criticizing the president and that's your policy on the news and you don't the Democrats have nothing to offer. Trump has been doing an excellent job. Look at the tariff monies that he's been raising. When you can get a 2K check and they still I will say this to Trump. If you're listening, Trump, more than likely not. But if you're listening or anybody in the political arena that's surrounded by Trump, I'm going to suggest this. For the people that are against Trump and the people that don't pay in the taxes should not be allowed to receive a 2K check. Ain't that something? Give that check to someone that is deserving, that are taxpayers, which he's going to be doing. But I agree that a lot of them that didn't stand with Trump should not get nothing at all, though. Should be a nothing burger, though. And that's if it was left up to me, I would definitely do that, right? You know what I'm saying? So why should they get anything, right? They never showed any patriotism. Oh yeah, and by the way, let's give a shout out to our diligent people that work in the airline facilities and aviation and the towers and everything, the traffic towers, right? The ones that continue working, guess what? Chrissy Gnomes just said he's gonna get a $10,000 bonus. Man, see what I'm saying? By being a patriot, being rewarded again, though. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. I appreciate it for the likes though, too, man. But look at it. Those are diligent patriots that love the country enough. They say, you know what? I gotta put aside my own self-interest and work for the betterment of our country, man. Shout out to the people in the aviation, man. You guys rock. Without y'all, nobody be traveling nowhere and stuff like that, man. You guys are wonderful, man. Most of you stayed on your posts. You know what I'm saying? You worked all that overtime, when the shutdown was going on. Look at Trump, man. He got us back. He got the SNAP programs back for the poor and everything, man. I mean, we're doing wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful, man. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm seeing it, right? The Democrats were the ones that shut it down. Talking about they love the people. They were hurting their own people, right? Look at what's going on now, though, right? It cost the Americans $1.5 trillion for this stunt under Chuck Schumer, right? They don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out in. Ain't that something? But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, though, we are rolling with the big dog, boy, and that is President Donald J. Trump, man. We get caught up with some of these things here. Black mega is hilarious. Yeah, it's hilarious when you get the 2K check. Space, in fact, space, you shouldn't get a check at all. You know what I'm saying? You probably don't pay any taxes, being honest though, black MAGA, Guess what, black MAGA? Guess what? Yeah, I'm black MAGA. Ain't no such as black MAGA, it's MAGA. We don't represent no color around here. We are Americans. Get it right. Let's see here. Roman had the best military, blah, blah, blah. We got the best military right now. We got the best ones right now. Joe says, I voted for the same thing. Yes, yes, and yes, 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 yes. But I want them to get more of the people out of this country. They're working on it. I'm gonna say this to you, Joe. Once that beautiful bill kicks in 2026, where the budget is going to be there, there's right now they have a mass hiring of new ICE agents, and they're going to flood the zones in this country. Trump is a man of his promise. A promise made is a promise kept, and he's going to flood the zone, and we're going to have so many mass deportation than the world ever seen. Thanks to our president, Donald J. Trump. Man, this is what we voted for, ladies and gentlemen. So, not to worry, cavalry is coming. You know what I'm saying? And when I get up upset, boy, look at this. And I wasn't even trolling. I'm gonna start trolling in a minute. Shut up, biscuit. Shut up. You see what I'm saying? They like childish little kids on the playground, man, because once again, MAGA is winning and their party is losing. But I tell you what, Monty, was it Monty or Monta? Yeah. Yeah, Monta, give me your two. If you're an American, you should be allowed to have a check either. And anybody else that's against the president, you should get a check too. The president is giving checks to American citizens, 2K, right? And it won't cost the taxpayers 1 cent because it's coming from the terrorists of other nations, right? That's exactly what it is. Let me see here. What's it? Rod said, I'm going to call you Rod. Just say the United States, not no angels. Don't get it twisted, bro. There you go with that negativity stuff again, man. Listen, you getting a 2K check. You should shut the fuck up regards to that. You getting a 2K check for doing nothing. You've been robbed many more, all of us out of our taxes, bro. So don't you get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Here I am laying down the facts. If I was lying, why would I have 13 likes if I was lying, sir? Right? You get a 2K check. You should have anything to say about the president at all. And like I said, I want to write to him and make sure if you're not a taxpayer, right? And not only that, if you don't like Trump, you shouldn't get ish. Straight like that. Why should you? Why should you? You don't deserve it. Let me see here. Voting for Trump is um national, isn't it? Let me see here. Vote for your president to suck off Bill Clinton. Yeah, yeah. These are the people here, and they're bots and they're trolls. I know they were coming. And I love the bots and the trolls. You know what I'm saying? Trolls and bots, but they cannot defeat what I said, though. Y'all notice that? Why should we get all I don't never get upset with trolls. I do like trolling. You know what I'm saying? I do enjoy trolling. I do it myself. But with facts and information, policies, right? We're talking about real policies that benefit where people in America benefit. They wanted Democrats, they love dividing us. Oh, you a black MAGA, white MAGA. We are all MAGA. We are all Americans, right? But they can hold down their hoods and their neighborhoods, right? They love poverty, right? I don't. You should be outraged about it. We know that you've been undeveloped, and we've been undeveloped in America ourselves. This is not about a race thing. This is about us being Americans, right? And we all gonna stand together and stick together. If you don't like America, take your 2K check and go to Africa or go to any of these other countries. Do what the rich and these celebrities been doing. Just do that. You do have that right. You don't have to stay in a place that you don't like. I'm all for you leaving. Who's all for these people leaving? Because why should you be in a place that you don't like? If you want to call Trump a Hitler, why should you be here? Hitler giving you a check? See how hypocritical? You see how contradictory they are? They can't even defeat any of Trump's policies. He is a peace president. Trump stands for peace. We are not, he's not a war president, right? He's not. He's a president for peace. And they can't stand it. Thank you for the likes, though, you know. We have a peace president. Trump is a president for the people, ladies and gentlemen. He's a people's president. Now we're going to talk about all the wonderful things that Trump have actually done, you know, because we know his policies. Many of you are patriots in my room, right? In my chat. You guys are patriots, you know what I'm saying? Just like I am. Weeks, like I said, shutting down the border, mass deportation. Wait until next year rolls around when that big, beautiful bill goes into effect. They're going to have the budget for real to be able to have ICE agents by the thousands, right? To do a massive roundup. Because I'm right with you, though. We don't need illegals in our country sapping off the system, trying to be slick and everything. Get they, you know what, out of here. Look at what Trump is doing. DC is cleaned up, very safe, clean. They've been painting, they've been taking all the graffiti. It don't smell like urine in those certain areas and so forth. The parks are beautiful. I've been to DC myself. The mall looks beautiful. Pennsylvania Avenue is not riddled with crime, violence, and drugs. Look at Memphis, right? Boy, if Young Dolph would, he'll be alive today, man. It was too bad about Young Dolph, the rapper. But look at it. Got murdered, you know, people that look like me. You know what I'm saying? Young Dolph is smiling down right now, saying, "Man, look at my hometown, man. Look at my city. Memphis is cleaned up, man. Crime very to a minimum, right? The same thing with Chicago, right? Trump said he's going to clean up 19 cities across the United States. And again, he's a man of his word. What do the Dems have to offer? Just sitting up here talking nonsense, send their bots and trolls in the rooms and call names and stuff. That's not a policy. And this is why Kamala lost. She's a loser. You know what I'm saying? And a loser, you know what I'm saying? So we didn't vote for that. We voted for Trump. His policies are solid. He's a people president, right? He's a president of peace. Even you getting a 2K check for you to come in here, the hypocrites that some of these people are. If you don't feel that much about Hitler or whatever it is, why you accepted Hitler's money? Right? See how the contradictory is to these people, right? They don't stand on nothing, right? Let me go ahead and get caught up here. Thank you for the likes too. I appreciate it. Let's see here. We have VJ said Trump is paying hush. Oh my goodness. Oh man, this is crazy, man. I sometimes I read the troll stuff. Nobody supports pedo. Guy, you just talking stuff. See, that's that slander again. How much are you willing to bet that nothing happened to Trump? That's how confident I am. And that's the thing about it. I don't want to get ahead of Trump, so I'm not going to say what things that I know, but I know what this guy don't know. And he wants Trump to be a pedo. He wants Trump to be on that island or whatever like that. When even Ghislaine Maxwell, which was actually what's the name? You're talking about, you know, what's the name? You know, Epstein, right? It was his girlfriend, right? She was closest to him and knew all of his secrets, man. You don't have nothing, nothing burger. I don't even know why I even read that foolishness, you know. Where are you living at? I'm living in America, you know, living in America, eye to eye. Boy, that's a James Brown, boy. This is a hell of a way to earn money, dude. I'm not earning no money. You see that I'm not monetized? I love it when they come in here. Beauty. Hey, listen, I'm if you notice, I haven't said hit the super, hit the chat. I'm not monetized. I'm the small guy in this arena. You know, I only been doing it last year. I'm not even monetized. I'm about to go to work soon, but I'm not even monetized. Can you imagine if I was monetized? Oh man, he doesn't care for anyone but himself. Oh my gosh. You are so wrong. Trump is a people president, as I said before. You got to stop allowing the media to watch the to listen to the news because, like I said, I could counter what you just said, right? Obama never gave a damn about Americans. He never gave a damn about black people, right? And even with this Obamacare, look at all the money he's been stealing, though. So I got so many things on Obama that you're not even aware of, and that's fact. And the stuff is coming out with the Russia thing because they are going to slam him. They're going to get him. Your fallen Messiah. That's why I call him the fallen Messiah and the arch deceiver. I'm talking about Obama, and they are going to get him. They got so much evidence on this guy. They're going to get him. Trust me. They are going to get him. I got a wager bet with a friend of mine right now for $10,000. I said, watch it get here, and he gonna run that money to me, and anyone else. Oh man. Let me see what you have here. So let me see here. He doesn't care about anyone. I read that already. You crazy, man. You crazy for not wanting to accept that. So let me ask you this though, as I said to you before. I'm just gonna get you on your hypocrisy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're living in America, guess what? You get a 2K check. You get a check for $2,000, the most that you ever have gotten under a presidency. You sound like a crazy fool. Why don't you do this? Give me that check, Rod. Give me the check, right? Yeah, I'll take it. Give me the check. That's all I got to say. See, you're talking nonsense, man. I bet you, I'll call your hypocrisy out. I bet you won't refuse it. Now, to comment on that, Rod, right now, I bet you won't refuse the check. Trump sucked off a bill. Man, come on, man. Tell him to check the Epstein files. He has the real Epstein files. You know what I'm saying? It's something to be said, you know. Trump don't speak a whole lot, and he doesn't have to. This is the art of war, Sun Tzu. Never tell your enemies what you're gonna do. Be as quiet as a mouse. And when you have the leverage, you hit like a thunderbolt. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And when Trump hit with this Epstein stuff, he's going to hit like a thunderbolt. Bam! As soon as when it's all quiet, you don't have no idea when it's coming. And this is why the deep state operatives and all that, they are frantic out, ladies and gentlemen, because they know Judgment Day is going to be coming on to them. And when it does, it's going to hit like a thunderbolt. And that's how you get them. You know what I'm saying? But I love these people that come over here that thinking they got something with this Epstein stuff. They have a nothing burger. I stand on it 100% though. It's the truth. They don't have anything, right? Because we're gonna do this email and all this crap now. We know that the Democrats, if they would have had anything, they would have used it a long time ago, 2016, when Trump declared his presidency. It would have been a fact. It's mighty funny that they're over here. They came up with that old phony ass letter. Y'all remember that letter? The girl body. Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? It's this phony stuff, man. It's just crazy, man. That's why I love trolling the trolls when y'all come in here, though. The trolls anyway, right? Because you ain't been saying nothing against what I've been saying. You can't defeat any of my talking points. All you know how to do is like the lady said, SMH. This is what they know how to do because they don't have nothing. As long as he and his pedo friends see, and what this is slander right here. Why you think the BBC got to pay up $1 billion, right? Slander, right? Look at it. You notice that on the news they're not talking about this stuff. Let me see what Ozzy has to say. Trump would easily win for the fourth term. Yeah, he really would. He really would. He said Maxwell got paid. No, Maxwell didn't get paid. Maxwell did not get paid. She's sitting in prison. She didn't get paid. She's more protected. She's better to be in prison right now than to be out because we already know she would be deleted if she was if she was on the street. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? She really would. Why you think they took Epstein out? You know what I'm saying? Let me get caught up here. Hold on for a minute. You boy, let me see. Yeah, okay, there we go. Thank God Harris lost. We dodged a communist bullet. We sure did. We dodged that bullet majorly, you know what I'm saying? Because they cheated for her to get those numbers up. They knew they couldn't beat Trump. So they said, we'll cheat and just amp the numbers up so it doesn't look like she lost that bad. But she really lost it tremendously. Because remember, who was controlling the voter polls in the blue states? No voter ID and all this other kind of crap. They were just running people in. Running people in. Trump said, we're going to make it too big to rig. You remember that? It was too big to rig. And I love that. Trump is an excellent marketer, ladies and gentlemen. Too big to rig, you know? And that's exactly what it was. Yeah, we dodged and made it a major, major bullet. But it doesn't bother me when they come in here and say these pedo lovers and all this, because they are using what they call slander. They don't have anything. This is to try to discredit Trump. But yet and still, you got people like what's this, Bosco or Busco or whatever, phony names and bots and so forth. I don't believe these people are really real. That's why I'm just saying, it's just funny to me though. You know, you waste all this time, but you're gonna be getting a 2K check coming from a so-called pedo, which is not a pedo at all. Um, you're all sad as fuck, you know. Yep. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they are. The people that are against Trump is sad as fuck. You right about that. Damn, you know who on that on that list? Yeah, I know who's not on the list is Trump. Come again, my friend. Oh man. Let me see. Why you talking long to say it? What you mean talking? Why you taking long to say it? What you been saying about Trump? I've been saying that you don't have nothing. You got a nothing burger. By Epstein, you don't have nothing. You were hoping for this to happen, but you have nothing. He was in there with P. Diddy, man. P. Diddy, the guy that's got 4 years in prison. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The most that P. Diddy ever did, I think he was just, what did they get him for? Trafficking over state lines. That's what they got Diddy for, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying. You know, he's not even relevant in this conversation, to really be honest. Heather says, doesn't matter what the truth and the proof. We put forth TDS, meaning Trump derangement syndrome, is real, right? Dems haven't done any. Okay, Dems haven't done any for our country, but ruined it. It's true. The Dems refuse to see it as true, regardless of how much better life has become. It's true. Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. I'm a matter of fact, I'm gonna do this here though, Heather. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna pin that. Let me pin that for you. Pin the message. There we go. That's for everyone to see it, because that is, I couldn't have said it any better, Heather. They refuse to see. They allow they can't even see how bad the country really is. They actually believe with this Trump derangement syndrome that we are in a worse scenario than in a better scenario, you know, and they're still getting a 2K check to get over here and talk ish. I mean, it's just crazy. This is how the derangement really is. This it's really, really sad. Here it is again. We don't call them pedos for nothing. Yeah, and that would be Clinton. He's on the list. Bill Clinton and the Clintons are on the list. So we're gonna talk. You said pedos, meaning plural, right? You know, Bill Gates, he on that list, right? To name a few, right? Tom Hanks. There's a lot of people on that list, though. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and name it for what it is. And these people, what about Andrew? Prince Andrew is on that list. This is one of the reasons why King Charles took the crown away from his brother. Let's go ahead and keep it real, right? We're going to talk about pedophiles. We're going to talk about some of the names. I'm only mentioning a few. We don't talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. This is documented. Ain't no allege. This is a fact. Wait till the real stuff come out. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. That's why they're gonna look like stupid again, ill-informed, Trump derangement syndrome people, or whatever like that. Right? Wait till it come out. Does your president, like you said, your president, like you said, you know, it's our president, Rod. And like I said before, you shouldn't even be receiving a 2K check. Rod, if I was had it my way, you wouldn't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't deserve nothing. You don't deserve a thing. Much as Trump did, took a bullet for this people twice and so forth, got shot, and things like that. You know, family been under siege, been debanked, then been deplatformed and everything like that, targeted his sons, constantly in the federal courts, thousands, millions and millions of dollars fighting off their what we call their lawfare ass corrupt ass attorneys and stuff. Pooey, what's that, Perkins and Cluey and all them out of New York. Man, come on now, man. You know yourself though, man. They didn't get them. They tried. Now they got to run all that money back. The lawsuits are going to be coming in, and it shouldn't. And American people shouldn't even have to pay that lawsuit. Guess where that lawsuit should be coming from? The people from the left, straight out like that, though. The Clintons, Obama, all of them had something to do with that coming after our favorite president that we all love and know. You know what I'm saying? So let me say, Trump is not on the list. Why doesn't he just say it? He don't have to say anything. It's like I said before. You move in quiet silence, and then when it happens, it hits like a thunderbolt. That's why. You don't broadcast what you got. You save it till later, right? That's the art. That's Sun Tzu, The Art of War. You should read that book. You'll learn a lot. Let me see here. The 34, yeah, 34 fellas have not seen a drop. Yeah, it's a drop. He is dropped. The 34 count felon has been dropped, and they got to run all his money back. So you are misinformed. You know what I'm saying? You are misinformed. I'm informed on these things, right? What's this? Fucking bootlicking idiot. I tell you this, I tell you this much. I love getting them all the time, right? Give me your 2K check. Because really, you shouldn't get your check either. Trump, if you watching this broadcast, if you watching this live stream right now, the people that are against you, don't give them nothing. Make sure it's the taxpayers. This is my suggestion. If you have not paid into the tax system, you don't deserve a 2K check. If you've been talking ish about Trump, you don't deserve a check at all. Straight like that. Why should we? You know, paying to be disrespected. This is crazy as hell, man. A president, he is the president that gave out the most amount, $2,000, and it's not costing the taxpayers not 1 cent at all. And they come in this room being disingenuous. That's why I say I handcuff them all the time, though. They cannot defeat my talking points at all. And you get the 2K check, which if it was left up to me, you wouldn't get ish. Most of you that come in here talking against our favorite president that we love and know, and that's President Donald J. Trump. You know what I'm saying? The one that got us the 2K check, shut down the border, mass deportation, gonna be drill, baby, drill, right? We got the big, beautiful bill, right? No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax to the seniors on the Social Security and stuff. This is what I voted for. We got ICE on that ass. Ice on that ass, you know what I'm saying? I like that. Ice is on that ass. We rounding up these illegals, getting them off the streets. He's going through 19 cities, sending National Guards in to overlook and make sure that ICE is not being attacked. He got with Antifa. This actually terrorist organization declared him as a terrorist. Oh yeah, and another thing, Trump has been doing a wonderful job blowing up those ships in international waters when it come down to the cartel. Fentanyl is not coming in this country like it used to be. Boy, Trump has been crippling them, man. You know, this is a peace president, right? Trump has really, really been doing his thing, ladies and gentlemen. You got to admit it, though, right? You know, even though the Trump derangement syndrome people that come in this room, though, you know, they are activated. Look at them, man. They are big mad about it. It doesn't look like we're upset. We're the patriots, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? We stand on truth. We stand on the loving America, common decency, right? This is the type of stuff that we stand on. You know what I mean? All they know how to do is attack Trump. They do this constantly and all of the time, right? And I ain't never been, let's say, intimidated by a troll. I troll myself, but I troll with truth. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Make America great again, man. See that? That's a beautiful thing there. Look at that. In all its glory, you know? I gotta get the updated one for 2028. No Kings protest was a flop. And I covered that one though. I had over 20,000 people in the room. You know what I'm saying? No kings. You know what I'm saying? Trump is giving you 2K check. No kings. Trump Once again, look at what he's doing. Mass deportation. No kings, right? Shut down the border, what is it? Got with the what we said before, Antifa, right? Getting with these illegals in this country, as I said, the cartel, no kings, right? Yeah, you see how ridiculous they sound, man. A bunch of hypocrites, man. They sound just delusional, man. Trump derangement syndrome, no kings, right? Look at this. The firebombing of Tesla vehicles and all that, Molotov cocktails and all that, no kings, right? Look at this stuff. Your movement is dead, right? Your leaders, you don't have any leaders in the Democratic Party. Mondami is a joke. They'll be impeaching him real soon. Oh, yeah, that's right. I talked about it earlier. Oh, we're going to ride the bus for free. That's not happening. Oh, they're going to pay him $30 an hour, right? That's not going to happen. I guarantee that. I bet you that Mondami won't pull off any of that stuff, man. It's not going to happen. Sorry. You think Trump going to give him funding to do this stuff? It's not going to get it at all. Mondami is done. You know what I'm saying? It's going to keep it real. So, ladies and gentlemen, look at what's going on right now. Well, we got a beautiful president with a beautiful policy on a beautiful mission, right? It's a beautiful thing, man. Hmm. Right. Boy, I tell you, boy, we got Snap going on and all this other kind of stuff, boy. He is the one. Look at it. What is it? 6 Democrats voted against their party. Those are the Patriot Democrats. I'm going to name a few of them. What's his name? Tim Kaine and them, right? John Featherman. They've been attacking Featherman, man. You know what I'm saying? But look what's going on. But they did the right thing. 6 of the Democrats was able to get that passed, man. Look at this. What's happening? Government is up and running. They getting their benefits and stuff like this. And this is an early Thanksgiving Christmas gift. Ain't that something though? For no kings. Oh man, that's that funny. Oh my gosh. Getting 2K from a check. No kings. You know what I'm saying? All I do, ladies and gentlemen, is I troll them with this stuff. I troll the whole no kings silliness, foolishness type of stuff, man. No kings. Yeah, man. I tell you though, man. Trump is looking like $1 billion right now. I tell you, man, with $1 billion policy, man. The only president that stood enough up against for his people, man, is Donald J. Trump. I tell you, Trump. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing, though. American hero. What's going on, American hero, man? I ain't seen you in a while. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's right. American hero, you are absolutely right. We need to stop identifying people, right, by color. We don't identify with color in this room. That is the old mentality that a lot of blacks have learned from the low down lunacy of the left. We don't rock with that over here. We rock on merit. You're gonna compete like everybody else. You're gonna get on out there. You're not gonna get a free lunch. You're lucky that some of you getting a 2K check talking against our favorite president that we all know and love, and that's Donald J. Trump. You know what I'm saying? He was the one that brought us Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. You know what I'm saying? There's some beautiful things, man. You know what I'm saying? So can't go willy-nilly pushing these old BS bills and trying to be slick, putting a lot of pork in these bills. I call it pork and beans bill. We don't need no pork and beans. Give me my beans without the pork. We don't need all that. We don't need that in there. These byproducts in this crap. But you're absolutely right about that American hero. An American hero, boy. You over here taking them down. That's what I'm talking about, man. He's like, hey, idiot. No, that's not true. 40 million was not given to the Argentinians. Let's go and talk about it, right? You the idiot, right? What the Argentinian government, right? They were on the collapse with their dollar. What Trump did is invested. He hasn't even started the investment yet, but he's going to invest 20 million. It's not 40 million into their government system, right? Because there's going to be an exchange, right? Regards to this, we're going to start having beef cattle coming from Argentina sent back over here into the United States. That is what's going to happen. Their economy was on the brink of collapsing, right? Let's go on and tell the truth. It wasn't 40 million. That's a narrative that the Democrats have been running, and the money haven't been given yet. He haven't even started the process yet. You know what I'm saying? But it's 20 million, not 40 million. Get it right. So you the idiot, right? I just love saying that. Uh, I'm gonna say this. How many times you gonna keep saying the rich helping pedophiles? It is true, but it's not Trump. Let's go ahead and say it because you got to throw Clinton in there. The Clintons, yeah, that's who you're talking about. They are the ones that helped them. The people that you and me don't even know by name that have been helping them, right? Helping people like Bill Clinton and them, right? You're absolutely right about that. At least we could agree on something, right? You know, you've been at Walmart and look at them prices, boy. Yeah, my boy. Yeah, the prices on the meat is still going up. I agree with that. But eggs and other things have gone down. There's some things that have gone down, so some things are still up. In fact, Trump said that he was going to be doing an investigation in regards to why the meat prices are going up. Because if my opinion, right, I think that it has a lot to do with the foreign. This is coming from the donors outside of the United States. They were the ones that was in regard responsible or tried to hijack our elections as well. They've been a part of it. And Trump is going to be doing an investigation as to why the meat prices are going up. So I agree with you on the meat on certain things, but not everything. You know what I'm saying? Uh, because the red states don't pay taxes, us blue states, that's true. Florida is one of the things they don't pay federal taxes. Actually, they don't pay state. I'm sorry, state taxes. They don't pay state taxes in Florida. There's a lot of red states that don't pay state taxes at all. And can you imagine? Because Trump is on the precipice of doing something great with the IRS. He's gutting the IRS. All those agents that Biden hired, it was like, was it 87,000 of those agents? They're not there no more. He's been gutting the Federal Reserve. And guess why? Because we have a thing called tariffs. The tariffs are going to be funding America, right? And this is one of the main reasons that people like ourselves, citizens, should not have to pay taxes, and we will not be paying taxes. Like I said, no kings. He's doing this type of stuff. A king would charge you taxes, but President like Trump is doing away with the IRS, doing away with the taxes, going after the Federal Reserve Bank. No kings. But this is the type of stuff, ladies and gentlemen, that for to people that Trump derangement syndrome, it would never make sense. Like Heather said, it would never make sense. No kings. This is the type. This is their speech. This is what they're basically trying to say though. Which makes no sense to me though. Really, I'm lost for words sometimes when they want to say no kings of all the stuff, all the policies I've been saying about Trump. He's a people's president. Even for you that don't like Trump, some of you gonna be getting 2K. No kings. King ain't gonna be giving you. Oh, I see it to believe it. We don't know exactly when he's gonna be given. I want to say, in my opinion, I think we're gonna get it sometime next year. I'm just kind of keeping it real. But with a king, he's gonna keep it for himself, right? Let's go and keep it real. Yep, I appreciate you, American hero, man. Yeah, I appreciate you swatting them down in here, man. Edward said you must believe in segregation and bringing black jobs back. Black jobs back. He's bringing jobs back in general. Trump is not only just saved the black jobs, but why you see the exodus of all these immigrants, right? He's saving black and brown jobs as well as American jobs, right? This is why we think Trump with ICE, mass deportation in the world will ever see, and he's doing his job. Wait till the first of the year when a big beautiful bill kick in, and you already know what's in there. This is like budget to be able to hire more ICE agents to go after these illegals, which I voted for. I voted for this. This is exactly correct. This is what I voted for. Many of us voted for this, right? And look at Ryan. Oh, poor Ryan. Look at Ryan, fat house, Uncle Tom. Oh, Ryan. But you gonna get a paycheck though. You think calling me names bother me? like I had never heard that before. Tell me something what I don't know, right? He's gonna get well, look at it, ladies and gentlemen. He's still getting 2K. No kings, but he's still getting 2K. I'm gonna be doing that no king stuff for now and then to show you how hypocritical, how they are lost in their delusion, right? Don't make no sense, right? Let me see here. There won't be a 2K check. How do you know that? When Trump even said that there will be a 2K check. How do you know that? You want to discredit Trump, won't you? No kings. Look at this, right? I'm only just going that boy. I defeat. Look at that. I've just been defeating them all this time. You don't stand on nothing but to know how to hate Trump. You ain't said one policy, something good where Americans can benefit. None of you, right? The only thing you defend is a buffet. You damn right I'll defend a buffet. You absolutely right about that. I would defend the buffet. Trump, don't take the buffet from us, man. You know, we gotta have some illegals in there, though, you know what I'm saying? And at least until we can get enough of our American people back. I'm all for the buffet. And many of you too. And this guy's a hypocrite, act like he never ate at a buffet either. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that was supposed to be funny. Oh, you thought you were gonna hurt me? You thought you were gonna go, oh man, why you had to go and say that? No kings, you know. I said, you're okay, your cult hates you. Pretty cool. Trump is giving a sloppy top to Bill Clinton. Here's the thing about it, right? You said that we are in a cult. You know what makes a cult? We have to educate this guy a little bit. You know what makes a cult? A cult consists of a minority group of people with a cult leader that don't give them any type of choice, anything at all. It's all about them giving money back to him. We didn't give money to Trump. Trump is going to be giving us 2K very soon, and a lot of things that that he's doing for America. So this whole cult thing. Remember, 77 million people voted for Trump. That's facts. That is on record. So you're sadly mistaken to think that MAGA is a cult. It's a movement, right? That's what it is. A movement for change and for the betterment for the American people, not black, not white, American. That includes all of us that live in America. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your boy is good. Holler at your boy, boy. I'm over here handcuffing them left and right today. I don't agree with a pedo. You don't have to agree though. One thing about it, you gotta admit, I've been handcuffing you guys the whole time. You ain't told me and said nothing that was of any irrelevance at all. Look at all the likes that I'm getting today. I appreciate you guys though too. If I'm standing on lies or whatever, I wouldn't have as much likes I have right now. Think that you're mad because you want this to be something, but you can't. You have look at it. Defeat your talking points, every last one of them. Name a Trump policy, you fat tard. Okay, I'll tell you what does like this. I appreciate you. Look at that. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. Hold on for one moment. Let's go ahead and deal with this guy here. Right. Let's give him the maximum. There we go. All right, there we go. Now let me go ahead and read the rest of them here. One thing that you okay, the only thing you are sticking to is the seat in your car. But once again, you cannot defeat my talking points, and that is true. I am sitting in the seat of my car. But one thing about it is, see how they make the tax personal? But they can't defend what I said, though. I've been over here handcuffed in every last one of them. You think I'm running? I don't run from no debate, though. You know what I'm saying? You ain't said nothing. You talk about me, but I'm giving it to you hardcore, though, right? You got to deal with the reality. And like I said, Trump, please make sure that the people talking ish in this room don't give them a 2K check because they're going to look so stupid. No kings looking stupid, right? Coming here trying to be disingenuous, right? Listen, you got anything? I done heard much worse. You can't even troll right, right? This is crazy. Oh man, the trolls, ladies and gentlemen, make the chat. I love it. It makes the chat. They come in here, right? They make the chat. And when you, because I'm not one of these brothers that's gonna go in on a troll. I see some of the guys do that. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't defeated my talking points on Trump's policies. Fact. All they do is throw out speculation, made up lies, right? Hypocrisy, Trump derangement syndrome, and personal attacks, right? This is all they know how to do. They learn this from their Democrat slave masters, and they rely on government dependency. This is the reason why I put that brother with that chain around their neck. And that is the woman that's pulling them along. That's your Democrat right there, right? You be a good boy, sit, right? Look at how they got a lot of the so-called black leaders, right? That's the chain around their neck. These conscious community brothers, that's they who's they master? Chain around their neck. There you go. You know, that is exactly it. I knew I was gonna get some trolls in here today, though. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna get that ass today, and I sure will. And like I said, I love trolling it, but it's so much of the truth. Just like they have done with the American people, they tried to do. Now we're coming out of it because we have real competency. We have a real leader. That's President Donald J. Trump, the man for the people, of the people, right? Because he's for the people, right? This is a peace president, as I said before. Look at all the policies that he have put implemented, right? Boy, and then even for 2016, do y'all know that Trump have donated to the HBCUs over 360 million, 350 or 360 million dollars to 109 historical black colleges in his first term. No kings, but they still, this is documented. No kings. They still like to bring this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? People calling other pedophiles is calling projection. You know, just see, this is what they got. It's crazy, man. I mean, I'm not even gonna read this stuff anymore because it's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Ain't anybody really talking about nothing. But I know who my true MAGA supporters are, though. They just been wrong, wrong, wrong on everything. Coming in this room and everything, being disingenuous. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Trump really doesn't stand for anything. Does blah 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 blah. But yeah, I defeat all of your talking points though, Fuzz. You don't have anything, man. You need to go down and take a nap, man, because you don't know what you're talking about. You're talking from your feelings. When you start throwing out insults to me, like most of you, you're speaking like a woman, speaking with feelings. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. I'm not speaking from feelings, I'm speaking from facts. Fuck your feelings, right? We talk about facts, right? This is exactly what it is. And I can stand on his policies because it works for the people. Bill Clinton policies didn't work for the people, but he's irrelevant. He's about to get his behind in prison, right? That'd be the best thing for these people, right? And Obama too, right? Obama was never for the people. He was the one responsible. All our jobs and everything. And when he turned our military in, looking like laughing stock clowns. I'm so happy now. Trump, right? Here's another policy: two genders, one male and one female, right? We will not have these transvestites or whatever you want to call them, men in drags and all this other stuff. We're not going to have that in our militaries. They're not going to be in our Olympics. That one dude that was he's not going to be in the Olympics. Trump already made that clear, right? In California, when they go down, he's not going to be there. We don't, we don't want men in women's sports. And ladies, even as liberals, even liberals don't like a man in a woman's locker room, right? We're so happy that that has been taken care of. We ain't gonna be sitting up here allowing that stuff happen at all. So we're so glad that we got that stuff out the way. We'll not be teaching any type of ideologies when it come down to, critical race theory and all this other nonsense, right? All that stuff, DEI is gone, and all this stuff, the rainbow children, all that stuff is gone. You know what I'm saying? And you have President Trump to thank for, you know? All of Obama's policies has been taken out, gutted out as they should. You know what I'm saying? I'm so happy, in regards to that. Look at our military now. Boy, they're looking like $1 billion right now, under Pete Hegseth, man. Those people love Pete Hegseth. He's a military man himself, man. Boy, I salute you, sir. That's exactly what it is. We got strong men and women in the military, in the armed forces. We got that big, beautiful F-47 jet. It is the fastest, the better stealth technology. No other nation have it. No country other than the United States have it, boy. We are the king of air supremacy on water, on land, and in air, man. I salute all the people in the military, active or not, right? Our veterans as well, man. Love Veterans Day, boy, to our stand up men and women that sacrifice their lives for America. Boy, that's a beautiful thing, man. You know who got your back? Donald J. Trump and the people, the patriots, right? Because they all they know how to do is come in the room and show off their intelligence, right? With name calling insults, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's supposed to back me down. I just laugh at it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing. No kings, right? This is how ridiculous they are, you know? No kings, you know? Y'all, I mean, I'm just saying though, us as the patriots, ladies and gentlemen, we are really doing our thing. I appreciate the likes as well, because you guys really rock and things like that. So this is your boy coming live, telling it like it is, standing on it. They want to divide us. Oh, he's a black MAGA. There's no such thing as a black or white. We are all Americans, right? We finally got it right. And he's going to go in 2028. Trump, because he will be able to win it hands down. When they see his name on the ballot, the Democrats are going to tremble, right? They're going to be, "Oh, he can't do that. It's going to be impossible." Because of the election that was stolen from him in 2020, they put a resident in instead of the president. And man, I'm telling you, man, the J6, man, all of this stuff, all of it is coming out now. Tulsi Gabbard doing a wonderful job. Get that big ear galoot. Get that Obama. Get his low down ass treasonous bastard. Get that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Get him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Get him. Right? Because we don't rock with that over here. We don't rock with treasonous people against America, right? With this Russia scam thing, trying to actually try to oust the sitting president. You know what I'm saying? Obama got more things to worry about now. This is one of the reasons why Trump stopped major flights out of America. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen, because he know they're gonna try to run. They're gonna be stuck here in America where they belong. Isn't that a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen? Trump is moving because you don't see. You think Trump ain't doing nothing for you for the MAGA supporters? I'm here to tell you, Trump is doing a lot of things. And as I said before, you never televise what you're going to do. You're going to wait. As soon as he has the leverage to the point, he strike like a lightning bolt. A thunderbolt is what's happening. And that's exactly what he's been doing. Because they are discombobulated. They're panicked out from the left. They did a lot of dirt. So, and them on the right, too, with these old low down ass these old low down ass rhino Republicans and stuff, these old sellout so-called MAGA, they not. You know what I'm saying? Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene showing her ass. She's only doing this because Trump didn't want to nominate her as being a senator. He told her no. And look at her. Been showing her ass ever since, man. She's been showing her ass before MTG, which I don't really have a whole lot of respect for her. To me, she's not MAGA. You right? You see, that's why I was trying to tell you guys, you can't. She's a career politician. I don't know about career. She ain't that old, but she's a politician for sure, right? Just like a lot of them, you cannot ride with people for politicians. They should be judged on their work and merit, not for what they say. We had enough of that coming from the left and these old rhino ass Republicans, right? No good, right? I mean, that's one thing we're in agreement in this room. Because you got a lot of hypocrisy from the left and from the right. You know what I'm saying? And who's cleaning it up right now? Our favorite president that we all love and know, and that's Donald J. Trump. Straight like that, you know? I got to say, boy. So once again, though, man, it's been cool, man, just being in this room, talking with like-minded people. I don't even mind the trolls to a point because they haven't said nothing. They have not been able. Everything they try to break up, I just shout it down. Just bam, swat it down. Get that phony ass stuff out of here. These lies. I just swat them like flies. Next one rides up, swat them down. Next one, swat them down. They ain't said nothing constructive. They don't even know any of Trump's policy. That's why they come in here. They don't ask questions, ladies and gentlemen, for understanding. They ask questions for what? To try to get a gotcha moment. Heather, you said it. That's exactly what it is. Trump is the greatest president we had in our lifetime. And I stand on it 10 toes down with everything I love. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't the only one, right? We voted for this. This is what we wanted, you know? We was on the verge of being lights out in this country, boy. But one man that stood supreme, that took on the deep state, took on the establishment, and that's Donald J. Trump. And they can't. This is real reason why they hate Trump because Trump is not a controlled man. They want to bring this Israel stuff up. You know, Trump runs Israel. He controls Nelson, not Yahoo. Nelson Yahoo don't control Trump. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if me and Omega talked about this, look at it what it is. Israel, what size of New York? Even look at it. I think look at New York, Israel. How a small country like that have that much of influence to be able to control the city president? You know what the landmass of America is? We have the might and everything. And yeah, Israel is our ally. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, they lied about, oh yeah, Trump sending let's talk about it. I ain't running from none of these conversations because they don't know anything, right? If you work, it's documented. Trump administration, they Israel buys our weaponry, right? And when it come down to aid, they even buy our aid. Israel have enough money to do this. But why we already know why the left is saying this stuff. Oh yeah. This is supposed to be like they gonna think you'll get me on a gotcha moment. No, it's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's why I just be laughing because they don't know anything, though. You know. Now I'm seeing more of the trolls. That's why I say at the point I ain't reading trolls messages no more. You know, I'm sure some of you that saying stuff constructive, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know, I have a support of the people in the room. If I'm not reading some of you guys' comments either, though, because I'm in my let me deal with my points because I've been talking nothing but about policy, things about Trump. Everything I've been saying, right, about Trump is actually factually true because it's already been documented. But they come in this room trying to basically try to disrupt, try to change conversations, and we're not going to do that stuff. We're going to stick to the plan, man. We're talking about government dependency, right? That they started with the black community and then ran it through America. There was a president that stood up, that fought against the establishment, changing things back around. And we've been winning ever since, man. We're on the verge of in the golden age right now, right? Because Trump will get rid of the central bank, which is the Federal Reserve. This is the one that's causing all of the inflation. Let's talk about some other stuff that these trolls don't even know. The central bank been around since 1913. Woodrow Wilson was the sellout president, right? Here's the thing that me and Omega was talking about yesterday. All your Democratic president so-called leaders have been bought by the establishment, right? Which is the corporation, the big donors. Every last one of them. Other than JFK. JFK broke away from that. Look what ended up happening. The rest of them, FDR, name them, right? And they all are on the take by the corporations, the big banksters and so forth, right? This is the actual factually true, right? We have more Democrats in power than we have Republicans. That's a fact. And look how they have let down the people. They have sold the people out, as James Brown would say, for chicken change. You know what I'm saying? Right? The big payback. I love that song. The big payback. Oh, I don't say it too much, but they have sold the people out for chicken change. And that's exactly what they did. They're the ones that have been robbing the American people blind. Now that they can't do it no more, they're angry and upset. So they go after the weak-minded people because there's a lot of weak-minded people that are Democrats. Because Democrats don't know about the Constitution. They can't even name all, let alone any. I don't think many of them can even name other than freedom of speech, right? Maybe the Fifth Amendment. That's probably about the only two things. Be lucky to even know anything about the Second Amendment, Third Amendment, let alone the Fourth Amendment. The first 10 amendments should be something if you don't know anything else. I did a whole live stream last year about this type of stuff. I sure did. If you look at some of my other in my catalog, and look at some of my other old videos, it's there. I talked about the Constitution, went over the Constitution. I'm talking about the 27 amendments that every American's supposed to know. But you notice with the Democrats, they keep them dumb, blind, deaf, and dumb for a reason. So therefore, they can go willy-nilly, right, on the policies. They've been robbing the people for a long time. The buck stopped here. It's not going to happen anymore, right? So the thing about with trolls, right? Bots are bots. Trolls are trolls, right? They come in here. A lot of them are being paid by the left. Dark money backers, they are being told to come in these rooms that support Trump and swat them down, right? It's not working because we have more patriots that back Trump than this hypocrisy stuff that they're trying to do. A lot of these people are paid too, right? A lot of them are paid. They're paid by dark money. David Pacman, I've been said that. That one that Ariel, she goes by Ari. Those are your actual content creators. They get about $8,000 a month for some of them. $250 to $8,000 a month. Shields for the Democratic Party. Do you really realize, as I said earlier many a times, if I was really about the person making money, all I would have to do is talk and denounce Trump, and I would have a room full of views. I don't do this crap for rooms. If anybody noticed, my views are usually especially during the weekday. I'll be lucky to have 4 or 5 views. I would be lucky to have that much. But I don't do this stuff for views because we know there's money to be made by denouncing Trump, going after Trump, spitting out a whole bunch of venomous lies about Trump. There's money behind this. This is why, this is the real reason. It's not Trump derangement syndrome. This is about looking for a bag, right? And they're getting a bag for doing this for some of them. Some of them are stupid enough to do it for free, but the majority of them are getting paid. Believe you and me, you know, there's names on these in these social media fields are getting paid. They don't tell you that because they are sworn to secrecy. These are some of the things under the pretenses of them getting this money. They're not allowed to reveal the sources. It's all hush hush, right? And they get paid for it. Do you really understand how much money I can make if I was really a person doing this ish for money? It's easy to do. You know what I'm saying? You have to be somewhat popular, and then they'll come in there and say, and they give you a script and use word semantics and all the rest of this stuff, right? To try to throw the base of the MAGA. Their job is division. The Democrats have always played a game called division, right? They get some of these weak-minded MAGA people that were, to me, they were never MAGA, but they believe in the hype. They believe in the Israel conspiracy. They believe in all these conspiracies. They believe in Venezuela conspiracy. He gave like $40 million. They do that stuff on for a reason and a purpose to try to discredit Trump because the Democrats don't have anything. That's why they can't spit out a policy. I'm talking about Democrat policies to be able to help the Democrats themselves. I appreciate the likes. Thank you. They don't have anything, ladies and gentlemen. You can't, this ain't Trump derangement syndrome. This is being done purposely, right? So, because they're the ones that's getting the check. You notice there's no dollar sign down here. I didn't say hit the Cash App. Some of them are mistaken that I'm getting paid off of it. And even if I was, it wouldn't even matter, right? Because I know I got a Cash App that says some random guy. I have a Cash App that people hit my Cash App, but I'm not monetized by in things like that. The stuff that I get is going to help out the channel. If I was getting money like that, yeah, I'll be set up. I wouldn't be in my car. I'll be in the studio. Do you guys realize that these paid advocates for the Democrats, they're set up in $1 million studios? David Pacman and them, they got $1 million studios, man. They're getting paid $8,000 a month, right? Just to go after Trump, right? That's what they do. Look at Nick Fuentes. Look at Candace Owens, right? They understand if you, because they are disgruntled, right? I mean, look at it. Dave Fuentes, he got a following, right? He's getting paid. Candace Owens is getting paid, right? Turn her back away from MAGA. And I personally believe why Candace Owens did it, because she probably thought that she was going to get a position in the Trump administration. Didn't happen, right? Trump is surrounded by real patriots, real loyalists, right? He don't get it right all the time. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know what I'm saying? They are the ones that are disgruntled. Trump is staying the course. He told them in the beginning, listen, make America great again. This is about the American people. This ain't got nothing to do with me personally or you personally. It's the betterment of the American people. Make America great again. How do you do that? Well, you have to go after the corrupt, right? The ones that have been sitting in politics for eons. Bernie Sanders and all the rest of them. There's no reason in the world that these people should be a career politician. 40 years, 50 years, damn near 50 years, 40 some odd years. Look at him. Mitch McConnell, right? Not a fan of these people, right? Mick Romney. We can talk about the rhinos as well as the ones on the left. They have done nothing to help the American people. In fact, they've done a lot to be against the American people, robbing the American people, taking the American people's taxpayers, enriching themselves in these NGO programs. This is what PBS and NPR was all about. It was nothing more than a front. These were your propaganda networks, right? Pushing out propaganda. I used to listen to NPR. They don't have nothing conservative. They never interview conservatives. They never have conservatives on their channels at all. It's all about the left. It's all about liberal stuff, liberalism. This is what they preach and push out propaganda, right? This is why Trump took a lot of the funding away from them, which I'm glad he did. Because no real people, no real patriots don't watch NPR. But when I remember about PBS, when it was good back in the 70s, before the Democrats hijacked it to a point, we were learning about the Constitution. It was called Schoolhouse Rock. Many of you Generation Xers know about that. I've said this many of times. You know, I'm just a bill and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, now that I'm stuck in committee where I sit here and wait, you were learning stuff about the Constitution. But the Dems say we got to hijack this stuff. They were the ones that took it down because they were very, not just disingenuous, but they were enemies of the American people. Their mission was to dumb down the masses of American people, give them bullshit, give them sports, give them cake and eat it, basically. Give them cake. That's what they did with the French. See what happened there. Give them cake, right? So this is exactly what it is, though, man. You ain't learning nothing on PBS. Not today, you're not. Back then, it was relevant, man. And I'm gonna get to these some of these comments later on, man. But this is the thing, though, man. We have lost a lot. We're now regaining it back. Before we lost a lot under the Democratic political bullshit machine. That's exactly what it is. If you notice, though, they come in this room. Some of these people are paid. They're paid to do this. You don't do this ish for free. You are paid to do this, right? And when they see that it's not working, notice that now that my numbers are going down on the viewer, you know, it's when he starts seeing the numbers go up, then this is where they get activated. I know the game, right? This is what they do. MAGA people, I mean, I know MAGA people support me. They ain't got to be on the channel all the time. I didn't ask one time for MAGA. Hey, hit the cash app. I'm not even monetized. Plus, you only get that money but once a month. That little money that versus what they're getting paid, $8,000 to sit up in here and be against Trump. They're doing it for the money. They sell themselves out and they sell the country out to go after an innocent man that didn't do anything. There's no pedophiles with Trump. There is no hush money with Trump. There's no embezzlement with the mortgage thing. Big Mama Letitia James, she got a lot to be looking at. She is the one that's been ripping off the mortgage, right? Adam Shifty Shift, he's the one that's been ripping off the mortgages, right? Mortgage fraud, right? Look at what they've been doing. Mortgage fraud, ladies and gentlemen. Even Solwell, mortgage fraud, right? Look at what's been going on. Damn, all these people doing this mortgage fraud ish. They're the ones that got to seek it just because it's put off right now. But once Trump get enough of the MAGA judges in there to replace these old Biden and old Obama ass sellout judges, he's been fighting injunctions, right, from these lower courts that's overreaching their jurisdiction, trying to tell a sitting president of the executive order. You ain't never, we never learned about that in the Constitution. We never learned about that in Schoolhouse Rock because it's against the law. They not supposed to do this. That's not government. It's top down, not bottom up. That's not it. That's not what it is. That's not the way it's supposed to be. These lawfare stuff is doing that they're doing are illegal. This is one of the main reasons that Trump been winning on everything. They've been losing. Trump kicked their ass in the Supreme Court, and they know it. Trump is going to go down in history for destroying the Democratic Party with the help of the Patriots. They don't have anything but name calling and Trump derangement syndrome. Getting paid for name calling. They don't have anything, ladies and gentlemen. We're winning this thing and they're losing. They won't even make it to the midterms. And what we have done with that and all we when we take away the filibuster, it's going to be game over. Game over, ladies and gentlemen, because we want to make sure that the IDs, we talk about voter IDs, will be a thing in the past, right? We want the voter IDs to be there, right? We want to make sure that they don't go in there. We're going to do away with the mail-in ballots and stuff like that. They're not going to be allowed to do that stuff, a mail-in ballots. No, and same day results. These are the things that we voted for. I voted for this to make sure that we have fair elections. You must show your ID. Every time I voted, went to the polls, I had to show my ID. What's the problem? We don't want illegals voting in our voting process. That's illegal. They're not even a citizen of this country. And another thing I love very much, Trump wrote that executive order to get rid of that. We're talking about the Fourth Amendment to get rid of this birthright citizenship. No, that's only belong to the black ex-slave babies. That's my ancestors, right? Where we are citizens in this country, but you don't get it as an illegal. Sorry, but I'm not sorry, but I'm just saying. Trump been done away with that. Dems don't have nothing, ladies and gentlemen. And they look sad coming in this room trying to insult me. Notice I said trying, you know. Fact, tell me something that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Tell me something I don't know. I can tell you this, or I can tell you I'm a foodie. I can tell you some of where the best restaurants where you could go and get some food at. I definitely had that under my belt. Who you gonna believe? A person that's fat or a person that's skinny? Or it come down to let you know where the best food is at, though. Shoot. I tell you where the best buffets at and everything, though, man. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big boy. I got very thick skin, if you know what I mean. That the fat, that's some thick skin right there. So that stuff don't bother me and phase me, though, you really be honest. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, though, ladies and gentlemen, we are winning this war that's been going on. Trump is looking like $1 billion right now, even though he's worth over billions. This guy didn't have to do this. He didn't have to do it. Trump is a is the great one of the greatest president patriots that I have ever seen in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? I tell you who ain't a patriot, then that's Obama. With all the drama. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it is. Big Mama Michael Michelle and all the rest of this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? The birth certificate is in question, right? And not only the birth certificate is in question, what he has done trying to oust that Russia stuff. We're talking about the Steele dossier. We're talking about all the people that was involved with that. And Tulsi Gabbard is breaking down with all, revealing all of the evidence. They caught him red-handed. I appreciate it, Bumpy Lump. I like that name, Bumpy Lump. Yeah, Bumpy Lump. Got to give a shout out to Bumpy Lump. I'm gonna start doing the subscription dance though now. Some people would love to see me dance though, cause I'm a big fella. Don't think I can't dance. I wasn't always no big fella though. I was thin, boy, you know what I'm saying? Better looking, but it's all good. The looks are still there. Once I lose the fat, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I appreciate it, Lumpy. Yep. Oh man, that's all. I always get excited when I get a subscriber. I get a couple of them. You guys rock, man. That's what I'm saying. I like the likes and stuff because, like I said, though, ladies and gentlemen, it's not Trump derangement syndrome for the most part. It is, but it's not because you have people that are paid because George Soros could throw out a lot of money, an unelected official, right? That throw out all this money, the ones that are backing Antifa, right? We talk about these, was it Bill Gates, Eric Kessler, George Soros, and many others that backed Antifa, backed these dark money projects and stuff like that, and they all being investigated. That's the funny thing about it. So I'll be seeing postings and stuff, people putting up mean postings. Would you like to see George Soros locked up? I sure do. Just like I would like to see Obama locked up. And I know we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it eventually. I like to see Bill Gates behind bars though. You know what I'm saying? Yep, I really do. All the dirt and all the stuff that he's been doing. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see these people locked up. And I know one day we are gonna see him locked up. Clinton's locked up. I know it's gonna be one day, boy. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna say Trump was right about everything. Thank you for the like too. I appreciate it. Trump was right once again about everything, and he has been. He's got a winning record. When you vote on Trump, you always win. When you bet on Trump, you're always going to win. Just because he don't acknowledge and talk a lot about the pedophile stuff and Jeffrey Epstein does not mean he's circumventing, trying to avoid anything. Innocent man don't have to speak. All this, the dog that wouldn't bark and all this other kind of nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Taking Sherlock Holmes references. Oh, they're the dog that wouldn't bark. You know what I'm saying? He don't have to bark. This is President Trump. He's been steering us in the right direction, man. All these tariffs that's been coming into America, man. It's a beautiful thing. And look at all the corporations that be coming over here. We got Toyota. Toyota be setting their plant up. What is it, North Carolina, I believe, if I'm correct. But yeah, Toyota, Honda in Indiana. We're gonna have Volkswagen over here. They're going to have a mass manufacturing going on in this country, and they're going to need people to work in these plants. We're getting our jobs back, right? We're talking about the labor forces returning, right? Look at the crackdown on these illegal as fuck truck drivers, right? Coming out of India and these other places, Brigitte and all the rest of them, right? They rounding them up because of this is making it happen. You know what I'm saying? What's the transportation? Duffy. They've been doing their job, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to convince nothing. I appreciate the like. Thank you so much. But we ain't got to convince them of nothing, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? We really don't because it's already being revealed already. People seeing it. We got right now, for you guys that's thinking about driving a truck, this would be a great time right now to be driving a truck because they need. I'm seeing signs of hiring, even in waste management. They're looking for CDL drivers right now, ready to go. I'm even reconsidering. I told Omega, I'm even reconsidering American Hero. I am reconsidering by driving a truck. You know what I'm saying? Because the demand out here, ladies and gentlemen, you know, you ain't seen this before. No truck driving school commercials. Why? Because they were giving these CDLs out to these illegal as fuck people, right? That's been stealing American jobs, displacement of the American worker. You know what I'm saying? And now we are seeing it. We are getting the get back. It's amazing when I call out these old sellout, paid for back money, dark money. You know they ain't got much to say anymore. Look at them fleeing out of here. You notice that? I know the game, ladies and gentlemen. I know the game. For those that get upset, meaning they don't know the game about these trolls, because they're not really trolls. I mean, they trolls, but they're paid for seminar calls and all the rest of this stuff. They come in here and do this purposely. And when they know that you're still on point, still talking, still keeping your talking points, what do? Leave. Got to go to some other fool that maybe I can catch them on a gotcha moment or somebody that take the bait. They don't come in here to debate. They just come in here being paid for some of them. And look how ridiculous they are, man. You guys, you are the patriots, right? You voted for Trump, 77 million of you, right? And this is what many of you said you voted for. Heather said she voted for it, right? American Hero said he voted for it. I voted for it. This is what I voted for, ladies and gentlemen, for the Make America Great. They tried their best to discredit this. And they looking stupid because I've been talking policies all day long. What is Trump is doing right now, right? He's been doing, man. He's giving the American people back our freedom, our sovereignty. It's returning here. Going to protect our gun rights, our gun laws and stuff. While Obama Biden was trying to take our guns, right? Look at Trump. We're going to have that thing where our CPLs will be recognized in all 50 states and stuff like. We don't need no CPLs at all because let no one infringe on our rights. Look, right? And this is who has been doing this? The Democrats. They've been infringing on our rights from day one, ladies and gentlemen, with these stupid gun laws, with this CPL nonsense where they gotta fingerprint you and register your gun so they can have it on file. So therefore, when they do the confiscation, they're gonna go over there to your house, just confiscate that weapon. That was the plan. Trump stopped that. Trump is a firm believer of the Second Amendment rights, the way it should be. You ain't never seen a president that's been in favor of the Second Amendment. Obama hated the Second Amendment. Obama hates the Constitution. Kamala hates the Constitution, right? These people hate it, right? Now he looking like Boo Boo the Fool right now. I'm talking about Obama. Look how pitiful he looked. Look how frail he is going out on the campaign trying to rally the troops. You know, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, it's ridiculous. They are truly the minority group. Their party is falling apart. And you know it's bad when they got to go far left. They got to go as far left, ladies and gentlemen, far left, right? In order to make something happen. It's crazy, I'm gonna read some of your comments right now. I do apologize, guys. I get a lot of trolls in here, but let me see here. Space says I used to be a Democrat when I was young, but dumb. Yeah, a lot of people were, right? I get it. And now young and dumb, but then grew up. Yeah, because when you start paying taxes and everything, you start coming out of that Democratic mindset. That's why they always say you're a Democrat when you're young, college kids and under. When you start paying into the tax system, when you start getting a real man job and all that, you start turning conservative. You're liberal in college, conservative when you're in the real workforce. That's the truth. Let's see here. Joe says Obama's bullshit. Him and Michelle. Yeah, it's all bullshit. They have been the ones against America from day one, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Bumpy says best president ever. Yeah, I agree with you though, Bumpy. Yeah, Trump is the greatest president ever. Sowell is cooked. Yep, Sowell is cooked, man. You seen this stuff with this? What they got him on though with that that mortgage fraud stuff, man. What's the deal with these people in this mortgage fraud, man? So well, Mr. Guardian Angel, man, I ain't heard from those guys in 30 years, man. Come on now. Come on, so well. You know it's supposed to be better than this. But that's why I said we shouldn't trust him. I never liked Solwell. Let's see here. How many mansions you got? I see, here we go again with this stuff. I don't got no mansion or whatever. But even if I did, you know. But soon we getting our, like I said, because Trump has created this parallel economy. I'm glad you mentioned about the mansions, but here it is. Try to explain it more in a simpler term, right? Trump has been competing against the Federal Reserve Bank, which is the like I said, it's a international banksters, right? He's been competing against them. They don't like it, ladies and gentlemen. They don't like it at all, you know. In fact, they've been against it. Hold on for one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta go use the restroom. Give me I gotta get okay, guys, I'm back though, you know. Just had to use that restroom. Yeah, the door closed locked. Okay. So yeah, that's what it is. Trump has been creating a parallel economy where he's been competing with the deep states, Federal Reserve, right, independent bank, and so forth. He's been competing against them, and he's been doing a wonderful job because they never would have thought that Trump would be collecting so much money. We're talking trillions of dollars that are coming in from other nations. Talk about no kings. He's doing the opposite. There's money. This is why I wear this hat. Make no mistake, this ain't a trolling. I really believe in this, man. Make America great again. And I can stand on all his policies. When I try to talk to, but let me get back to this point and I'll go back to there. So we talk about parallel economy, right? So he's been competing with them and winning because of the money that Trump been bringing in. He's bringing in so much of money into our and our you know, it's the coffers is being filled up because we haven't seen nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the reasons as to why we're getting a 2K check right now, not costing the taxpayers nothing. All the lies they're saying, it's not does not cause inflation. Tariffs never cause inflation. It's the answer to de-inflation, right? We don't have inflation. We had inflation from the Federal Reserve Bank. Their job is to print money to the U.S. Treasury. Every time the people in Congress they go on, we need more money. We need more money, especially the Democrats. Democrats have never been money managers of nothing. They're wasteful. It's an operation. They steal money, enrich themselves. This is one of the main reasons. Most of your senators and our Congress people, most of them on the left are millionaires or billionaires. Let's keep it real, right? This is this is exactly factually true, right? This is why we in the situation that we in right now, that Trump has been cleaning up. He's been doing an excellent job, right? When we talk about competing against the Federal Reserve, and eventually Trump is going to overtake the Federal Reserve. Lisa Cook, her job is on jeopardy, right? Mortgage fraud again. What's the deal, man, with these people? Adam Shifty Shift, mortgage fraud. What is the deal? You already got money. You got to do mortgage fraud and more money. See how these Democrats are? You know what I'm saying? And some of these rhinos too. Look at them. This is crazy, right? Mortgage fraud. You know what I'm saying? So in any event, so Trump has been creating this parallel economy, right? I've been saving this one for the last. And we can see that it's been working, ladies and gentlemen. It's been working big time. Let me see, go down and go back up. Nancy Pelosi, insider trading. Yeah, exactly. Nancy Pelosi, right? She's retiring now. Nancy was better than Warren Buffett. Beat the S&P 500, man. The S&P 500. She beat it many times. Martha Stewart tried to do it. They locked her up. Oh man. Let me see here. What else here? Ex-Democrat growing up. Oh yeah, wait, I missed it. Oh yeah. Mark Gray says, keep telling the truth, right, brother? I know, right? Yeah, bro. I'm gonna keep telling the truth. Um, doing what needs to be done, kind of proper, not cursing, taking notes. You liberals watching. Yeah, exactly, man. I appreciate that though, man. Really. Because you know, you don't really have to get in here and get in an arguing, screaming match with these people. We're up. They're not. They don't have any policy. Everything I said, they can't challenge it. That's why they come in here being disingenuous, to say the least. All right, let me see here. Mark says ex-Democrats grow up conservative, spreading love and inclusion. Yeah, that's true because they were the group originally that I remember by being the group of more tolerant, not less tolerant, more tolerant. The group that spread love, a group that was for the middleman, the low man on the total, the blue collar worker. I remember that it wasn't that long ago, and that's what the Democrats used to be about, right? Social change and all this other kind of stuff, right? Mark says, "Thank you, sir, for following Jesus Christ and the truth. God bless you." Yeah, I appreciate you as well. You know, because yeah, we are a Judeo-Christian society. America always have been. I don't like the fact about. I don't have any problem with Muslims and other people. The only problem I have with them is when you want to bring in Sharia law, you want to do things fundamental Islam and all this other stuff and you are for hurting people and think that you have a right to go out here and go after what they call a non-infidel, this is not Saudi Arabia. We ain't gonna allow you to do it. You will meet our you know what's before that happened. I'm just saying, because we're not gonna allow you to overtake the country. It's in our constitution. Sorry. Let's see here. I used to be a Democrat when I was young and dumb, but now I read that. Okay, let me go ahead. But yeah, it's true. Like I said before, Obama bullshit said that. Bumpy so well, all that stuff. Mission, mansion. Bernie, okay, has two mansions. He cries about rich people. Right. Bernie never made a dollar on his own. He's been in politics. Bernie been in there since he was it 20? I think he was 20 years old. Bernie been in there for a long time though. Bernie is bought by the pharmaceutical industry. Bernie is bought by corporations. Bernie talks socialist. He was one of the first to talk this running against Hillary Clinton. Bernie did not win because of his leftist viewpoints. They looked at the hypocrisy coming from Bernie Sanders. You know what I'm saying? The reason that the kids back then voted for Bernie, because Bernie was saying how the kids should have free education, right? Now, I'm not necessarily against free education, but here's the thing: how are you going to pay for it, Bernie? We know it was going to come out of the taxpayer dollars. He can't duck that question, right? At least Trump have a better idea because it ain't about free education. It's about bringing the money. We're talking about real sound money with gold and silver and crypto, right? To boost our economy up to the point where we don't have to borrow money from the Federal Reserve Bank. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be enough money. We're talking about getting rid of inflation, right? We're talking about talking about the wealth being returned back into America. Obama had a lot to do with stealing our wealth, ladies and gentlemen, from the United States. Obama did that. Yes, he did. Obama stole and gutted America, stole our wealth, our gold and all that. That was all taken out of America. Nobody talked about Fort Knox other than President Trump. Let's keep it real. Some of us that's baby boomer, Generation X know about Fort Knox, right? Which they didn't talk about, right? When's the last time you heard about Fort Knox and gold and all that, though? It was purposely not a topic of discussion because this is why the American people's wealth was taken from them, right? And Obama is one of the ones. That's why I say, man, all roads lead to Obama, man. I don't rock with that dude at all. Treasonous bastard, right? The longest filibuster is in 1964 when the Dems fought against the Civil Rights Act, right? Nothing changed. That's what I say. Nothing changed. They fought. Here's the thing about it though, man. This the civil what's that what I was gonna say um, yeah, we talked about the filibuster. Trump, I support him removing the filibuster, as I said before, because we're not going to get the Dems to be on board for the betterment, you know what I'm saying, for the American people. Let's go ahead and keep it real. You see what they did, right? They would rather for the American people, the poor, to suffer. And it wasn't Trump, it was on their hands. Trump saved it. No kings, but he saved it. You know, so really, when they talk about no kings, they're really talking about themselves on the Democratic Party. They are the ones that are kings. I would say no kings for them, no kings for the Democratic Party, right? because they ones have been in power the longest. Who's been jerking their chain? Who's been controlling them for the Democrat Party, right? Who's been controlling them? The Democrats. The Democrat leaders, right? They donors. They've been controlling the Democrats, right? Right? So when they say no kings, they really talking about themselves. You know what I'm saying? They really are. They talking about themselves, ladies and gentlemen. Got to put some lotion on my hands. You know what I'm saying? They've been enriching themselves the whole time. That's why we are not supposed to be worshiping these politicians, following them, because they will always let you down. It's the truth. Let me see. Let me get caught up here. Then it says, okay, the data from IMF and the World Bank. Yeah, Trump pulled us out of the IMF, which I'm happy. He pulled us out of the WHO, the World Health Organization. What about it? The Paris Climate Act, right? The new Green Deal has been stopped, right? For no kings, Trump ain't not about any of that stuff because it was all a scam. Even Bill Gates came forward and said how the climate change was a hoax. Yeah, I mean, you guys know about that. You heard Bill Gates? He said it. He said it. Yeah, you got me. It's a hoax. He admitted it to Trump that it was a hoax, ladies and gentlemen. It was bullshit, right? Growth today is basically the same speed it was before him, and only now he owes extra 14 trillion short sugar rush, blah, 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 credit card. But here's the thing about it though, too. I'm gonna say this though, too. Trump, like I said before, you can't deny his tariffs act in regards to that. His tariffs is competing against the Federal Reserve, right? This is one of the reasons why they don't want to cut the rates. They only doing it with a little fraction of an amount. We got too late Powell and all this other kind of stuff. Because once Trump get rid of it, it's gonna be everything, Dennis. It's gonna be what I just said. Because once the central bank, which is the Federal Reserve, must go. It has to go. We're not going to see inflation anymore because the money that's going to be funding America right now, yeah, the money right now, I'm saying for the federal with the tariffs, is coming from other countries around the world. That's going to be funding America. This is one of the main reasons why we don't need to be paying taxes, and we don't, and that's why they need to go ahead and ratify the 16th Amendment, and we got to do some other things to make sure no central banks in the future come over here to try to take us over. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. These are things that need to be ratified or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Trump is doing that thing. This is one of the main reasons. Let me read this first. Democrats went to bat crazy shit, and I left them. Yeah, they went far to the left, spitting out all these type of bullshit ass far leftist, socialist, communist bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They really are though, man. And people ain't feeling that. They're not feeling that, man, at all. You know, not at all. Trump with these tariffs is going to be the greatest thing, and all the other presidents after him, it just keep with the same policy or whatever. And like I said, though, too, the people now are aware because they're going to be so spoiled of a president like Trump that carried out his policies. Obama and them, Biden and them, they didn't carry out shit. Look at what Biden did. $350 million going. Yeah, $350 and went to Ukraine. Look at this. You know, Zelensky is nothing more than a puppet of the deep state. This European Union is phony. It's just a bunch of crap, right? Want to buy Tomahawk missiles and stuff. They always use Russia as the big bad wolf, the boogeyman, so they can carry out their regimes. People that got caught up and hip to that right now. They're all over there in Europe panicked out, right? Because they're the biggest backer, NAFTA. Who was the biggest backer at one time? It was the America, right? We are the least backer now. We're not the main backer no more. And I love the fact that Trump is making, they all got to pay up. So we want Britain to pay up. We want Germany to pay up. We want France to pay up. We want Italy to pay up. We want them to pay up because they owe the American people. We've been for years from the taxpayers been funding this NAFTA and all this. Time to pay up. I'm a big affirming a believer. You have to pay up. Pay for what you owe. Pay for what you owe, right? And I'm sure Trump is staying on that, collecting this money. It's all gonna go back into the tariffs anyway. I appreciate the light. Thank you. It's a beautiful thing, though. We are winning. The Dems are losing. Trump is the greatest president we ever had. The one that we all know and love is President Donald J. Trump. And I appreciate y'all for being a part of something great. Because, like I said before, I love talking about stuff like this. You know, after I exposed these old hypocrite, old paid off ass trolls and stuff like that, right? And I always love exposing them. Man, it's amazing how they done fled and got the hell out of this room. Oh, our cover is blown. Let me get up on out of here. Uh-oh. You know what I'm saying? These old paid for ass people. You know how much money I can make, man, denouncing Trump? Y'all realize this, right? Any of y'all can do it too. It ain't much. But I'm not going to do anything like that. Trump is doing a wonderful job. For me to sell this country out and sell myself out, I would be the bigger hypocrite, right? Doing this type of stuff. I support Trump. I back Trump. Did I tell you I met Don Jr. before? Last year? I met Don Jr. I got photos to prove it. You know, beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Space says Trump isn't the perfect. No, he's not. He don't have to be. But I love how he's shaking things up and at least trying for MAGA, the president with some balls. Oh, he got bigger balls than some balls. Let me tell you, let me make you stand corrected on that. Anytime a man get a assassination attempt, he got shot in his ear. Trump got back up, said, fight, fight, fight. He had that look of determination on his face. He was telling the deep state, no, 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 no. I'm not going to bow down to you. This is the man here. They went after lawfare. He was debanked from a major bank, Bank of America, Capital One. They shut his credit cards down, right? They threw him off of Twitter, right? They went after his children. I'm talking about his sons, constantly in court, battling against these people, spending millions of dollars to keep their name clean. They politically tried to assassinate him. They tried to crucify Trump. Talking about this hush money. No victims at all, right? Then they try to Russia, J6. They've been trying to get Trump on all this. 34 count felon, all this other kind of stuff, right? Look at it. So he has the biggest kahunas that I have ever seen. I ain't never seen a president that went so hard for the American people. And this is a billionaire, man. What billionaire do you know that have done this? So he's got the big balls, not some balls, big balls. Talking about big balls. I ain't talking about big balls from Doge. He got big balls too for what he's doing. But Trump got bigger balls, right? To be able to go out. What type of person do you know that would still do this? Most people would have kowtowed and bowed down. He didn't bow down to the establishment because Trump knew that he could take him on and he could beat him. You got so much of criminal evidence against these people. Used to be a sitting president, Obama. There's a lot of stuff he got on Obama. That's why he ain't worried about Obama. There's a lot of stuff on this Epstein stuff. He ain't worried about that either. But it's funny that they try to come in here in this room and try to discredit Trump. You know, they done hightailed it out of here when I exposed it what it is, man. There are paid advocates that come in these rooms, come in my room. They're paid for, bought and paid for. Ain't none of them shit. And y'all should be that's y'all. I'm talking about the people that was in this room, the trolls. That was a misspeak. Trolls, you guys should be ashamed of yourself selling out this country. Y'all sold us out for chicken change. Going after Trump when you know it wasn't nothing there. You did it for the money. That makes you the greater hypocrite. You are not an American. You are a sellout. You are anti-American. You no different than the Democratic Party. We voted for these people to represent us, and they sold out for the corporations. And Trump is going to get rid of that too, where they're not allowed to intertwine with each other. He's right about that. I'm talking about Trump. Absolutely. They are, thank you, traitors. Your David Packman and Ariel and all them. I see her on here sometimes. Ariel, if you're listening, and I know you are a traitor. And I tell it to your face. You's a traitor. You know it wasn't nothing on Trump. You like to play word semantics. You don't have nothing. You a traitor. You shouldn't get the 2K. You should get nothing. Y'all should be arrested, rounded up for spitting out propaganda, being anti-American, standing up for socialism and communism. This is what we call you a traitor. Talk about Mondami, you're running the same program. You a traitor, you know? All these traitors. I already went over one of my lives before where I talked about a lot of these content creators, how they're backed by dark money, Soros and all the rest of this stuff. Don't think we don't know. See, the thing about with the uniparty of politicians, they think that everybody in America is dumb, and we're not. We see through your lies and your deceit and bullshit. These are traitors. Thank you so much for that space. Yeah, traitors. They come in here talking all this crap about Trump, and we know that you're being paid for. When you come in this room, I can already tell you didn't defeat none of my talking points at all. This makes you a traitor. You want to do a name call and play silly semantics, ask a bunch of questions, not for understanding, but to be disingenuous, right? To try to catch somebody in a I got you moment. I know the tricks of the left and what they do. This is what they do to be disruptive. So I could get into a childish argument with somebody. I don't argue with these fools on here. Trump is bar none the greatest president of all time. You know, you old sellout traders that are taking that money. I'm talking about the trolls that came in this room. You are nothing but sellouts and traders. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be arrested for putting out misinformation, lying on the sitting president, all the stuff that he's done. And y'all didn't take no bullets. You didn't take no arrows and slings. This guy did. You know, he didn't have to do it. Trump didn't have to do it. You don't see Bill Gates doing it. He's the problem. You don't see any of these. You don't see Zuckerberg doing it. You know what I'm saying? They ain't doing it at all, right? They're working in symphony with each other to try to take Trump down, try to take this country down. The father of Mr. Eugenics, his father, Bill Gates Sr. and Margaret Zinger, following the same family business of eugenics, right? Want to talk about something though, right? And they give this man a pass. They give it Bill Gates a pass. I don't give that guy no pass. I got a problem when a man wears a sweater all the time. You know, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Something ain't right. You know? But yeah, man. So other than that, though, man, I appreciate you patriots that have came in the room and many of my new subscribers as well, too. I'm gonna keep and continuing saying the truth. Because MAGA, they don't pay people. We already know the right don't pay anybody. We do this. Oh, I appreciate it though too. Falk, yeah, 806 subscribe. I appreciate you as well too, man. Thank you so much for subscribing. Because like I said, yeah, I'm not being paid either. A lot of us ain't being paid. We have to disclose if we have any type of sponsors or are we being paid and so forth. We don't on the right, we don't do stuff like that. On the left, they do that stuff. You know, $1 million studios. You guys ain't never seen me blinging like that, right? I mean, and that's okay though, because it don't have to take $1 million studio to carry out a message. I'm in my car, about to get ready to go to work soon. You know what I'm saying? So this is the thing. See, here it is. You're a disgrace, but they can't tell me why I'm a disgrace. Watch this. Watch this. Tell me why I'm a disgrace. Watch this. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask again. Tell me why am I a disgrace? Educate the people in my room. Tell me why I'm a disgrace. Tell me. Watch this. Watch this. Tell me why I'm a disgrace. Watch this though, you know. I would like to hear why I am a disgrace. as a black man. Go ahead, as a black man. I'm waiting for it. I got this so many times. Watch this. Tell me, as a black man, you said you're a disgrace as a black man. Tell me why, as a black man, I'm a disgrace. Come on now. You ain't gonna just let you go for just saying that. You put out that. Tell me why I'm a disgrace. Don't tell me something that I already know. Shit, I know I'm a black man. Tell me why I'm a disgrace. That's what I want to know. Jess says hi. Hi, Jess. Hi, friend. Come on now. Tell me why I am a disgrace as a black man. Right? Can't do it. See, when I give them a chance, when I ask them the question, they just come in here and making untruth statements. I'm more of a black man than you will ever be. You know why? Because I wear this hat because I told you, you sound like a little child. You don't have no, I got the kahunas, you don't. I can wear my hat in public, right? And I wear it everywhere I want to, right? I got big kahunas. No, you're not. No, you're not. See, this is the childish stuff that they do. No, you're not. Yeah. No, you're not. Yeah. See, this is the type of stuff. This is childish stuff right here. And this is why they're not worth talking to. He might just be one of these delusional Trump derangement people, because not everybody is getting paid for dark money. They look for somewhat of a talent, somebody that got a lot of followers, right? Someone that's intelligent enough to try to use word semantics and try to use word spin and word salad. This person is not that person. See, you can tell by this conversation. Look at this. You want to go back into the field. See, that's how you already know, man. Please block the person for talking. You know what? I give them a little bit of running room, a little bit, and then yeah, exactly. I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. I understand. I'm gonna go ahead and do it for you, Joe. I'm gonna go ahead and do it, man. Let me go ahead and I give them 24 hours timeout. Yeah, Joe, for you, I'll do it. I do it for you, Joe. Yeah, sorry about that, people. But I'm just trying to prove a little bit of a point. But there's no points to even prove no more. We won. Because really, if you notice, on my other lives, I don't even acknowledge them, man, because there's nothing to acknowledge. We talk about the wonderful things that Trump doing. We ain't saying he's perfect. He doesn't have to be. But any man that can take those type of slings and arrows gains my attention. He gains my respect too, man. He's a true patriot. Trump is a true patriot. He loves America so much. Can't say that about the rest of these old lying ass politicians and all the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah, but other than that though, ladies and gentlemen, I just want y'all to know, if you don't know by now, MAGA is a movement, right? This is what Trump want all MAGA supporters to understand. You are a movement. Whether Trump is president or not, you have to carry on the same spirit as if Trump was there. We have to be more involved. One of the things with MAGA, I got to do a little bit of a criticism. We don't, we're not lockstep with each other, and we should be. We should be lockstep with each other. This ain't about black MAGA, white MAGA. This is about MAGA. You should be more in lockstep, right? We got to go out here and canvas. We got a midterms coming up. We got a country that we still got to save. We're not out of the woods yet, ladies and gentlemen, because they're doing everything that they possibly can on the left to make sure they keep their power. Understand this. Trump is only one man, but the least we can do is to support him and to educate as many people. We got a lot of moderates in the middle. All we want is to vote. We don't care about them. This ain't about you got to love Donald Trump, the president. No, look at his policies, make the right decision, right? The choice is clear, right? Joe says, I'm still here with you. I'm listening to you, and everything's been said. I appreciate it, Joe. Yeah, man. You've been rocking, man. I gotta say it, man. You, you know what I'm saying? This is what we call the Patriots. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that everybody else should stay in the room, because we know this Saturday, man. You want to spend time with your family. There's some people got to go to work. I'm not talking about MAGA supporters and moderates like that, because I know everybody got a life. I'm about to get ready to get started myself. But what I'm saying is that we got to be locked up in supporting Trump. Don't let the Nick Fuentes, don't let Candace Owens, don't let MTG and all of it for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Don't allow people like that and many others to derail you, divide you from MAGA. And don't let these influencers, the ones that are, because like I said before, you can tell that they're being paid. I like Real Mike. Yeah, I like it. I like his channel, man. Some of you guys know some of the content creators that I'm talking about. Real Mike, I like him, man. You know what I'm saying? I like the other guy. What's his name? He got his MAGA cap on. I like Brian Craig. You know what I'm saying? These are the people that I rock with as well, though. You know what I'm saying? So they do what they do or whatever, like that, standing up. Who else? There's quite a few people that is on here that's rocking with MAGA. Dennis. Um, Dennis. Yeah. Dennis. Yeah, I forgot his last. Yeah, Dennis. Right. You know what I'm saying? He was a Mexican native, came over here, right pathway of citizenship and all that. I rock with Dennis too. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these guys I rock with. DeVoy, I rock with, you know what I'm saying? Black conservative perspective. There's a lot of these guys that I'm in lockstep with them. And you should too. We should be all in lockstep with each other, which for the most part of it, we are. We ain't got to agree on everything Trump do. There's things they may not agree with me on. That's okay. We understand the bigger picture, though. The bigger picture is that the way that we stay strong and we stay united and we understand what the opposition is doing, because the goal is to destroy MAGA. The goal is to destroy Turning Point, Charlie Kirk, right? And this is what a mega brought this to me before I go. A mega, and I never thought about this. Trump unfortunately lost a great ally because Charlie Kirk was feeding Trump a lot of things. Talking about with the youth and what he was doing, Turning Point, all the stuff. He was a hell of a debater. He turned over a lot of young Zenio minds, got them back into the church, accepting Jesus as their Lord and Savior and all the rest of this stuff, man. And the deep state got panicked out because they know if they lose the youth, they lose everything. And Charlie Kirk was that person. I can't even think of anybody right now that had enough of insight as Charlie Kirk that would actually he was really the ear of Trump. And I wish that he was protected more. He, to me, in my opinion, yeah, it was sad to see him go, man. I wish he was covered down more, but it's hard to cover down people when they're not an elect. When you got elected officials, he would have been protected. It's unfortunate that he wasn't in politics to be protected like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but other than that, though, yeah, that's the thing about it, though. I mean, that's the thing about it. So he was really the man that was helping Trump tremendously. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we lost a great one there, man. We lost a great one. So yeah. Shout out to Charlie Kirk, may he rest in peace and power. Charlie Kirk, that's what's up. Let me see here. What else you have here? Joe says, okay, yeah, I got you right there, Joe. Yeah, this over here looking at some of these other the comments that make sense. You guys that are in here, y'all rocking, y'all MAGA, y'all actually patriots as well, like myself. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I done heard all this criticism before. I done heard it. Just doesn't phase me, man. Because if it did, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that's the thing about it. Let's see here. Trump called Montreal. Russia assessment is hard and you idiots think. Oh, this is somebody from. I missed this one from Dennis. This is a guy named Dennis here. Trump called the Montreal um, initiative assessment. Blah, blah, blah. You smart. You think he's smart. He says here, you an idiot. You think he's smart. Talking about Trump and things like that. Let me say this though too. He sound like a Canadian. He could be a person from Montreal. I still call it Canada. And I got friends in Canada. So this is no disrespects to the Canadian people. Let me put that out as a disclaimer before I go. We know that Canada, 80% of the people that live along in Canada, that live alongside of our border, about the size of California, if you were to put them together, that's Canada, right? Right there. Canada, California, as far as population, right? Because other than that, outside is very dense. There's a lot of uninhabited territory in Canada. But Canada's military is not greater than ours. Their economy has never been greater than ours. They've been up under the crown. You know what I'm saying? Let's go and keep it real. But we have been funding Canada. Well, we used to. We were funding Canada. Trump looked at the books and said, "Oh my gosh, we over here hemorrhaging. Something got to be wrong when we're able to pay the Canadians to build Chrysler, build Ford plants. Why aren't those plants?" Trump even said it. This is just a common sense, logical question. Why are the plants in Canada instead of being here in America? Right? Because Detroit is the motor city where I live. Detroit is the motor city capital of the world, at least it used to be. And Trump is want to bring that back to its glory days, right? He said it. We want to have plants back in Detroit, which they're working on right now. Chrysler is going to be where? Which part in Illinois? But in any event, Chrysler are going to be building a plant in Illinois, right? Obviously, they must have won the lowest bid when it come down to the taxes, right? Because these corporations, you got to give them a tax incentive when they go into these country towns. That's why they're all down in the South right now because they're getting better tax incentives than we are up here in the North. Used to, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Used to be when they were doing it in North, in the North. But this is basically what it is, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all all for being a part of something great. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. It's nothing to expose from the left. Everybody by now up caught up to their bullshit, though, right? You know, government dependency. They really don't like that that chain around the neck. You know what I'm saying? I admit I do a little trolling too. You know what I'm saying? But that's exactly what it is in the so-called black community, right? Look at that though, man. It's a shame. Grown ass man, right? Being led by a damn Democrat, being told what to do, what to say, where to go, how to say it. That's what they do, man. Let me see here before I go. Hold on for a minute. We got to read this. I don't want to miss the comments here. Let me see. Joe says I'm still here. Okay, I read that. Joe says as long as they're talking good about our president, I'm good with them, right? But if if they're talking bad about our president, then I have a problem with them, right? I'm truly with president only if you knew how much. Oh yeah, I know you are, man. For you hanging out in the room and being a patriot, man. And we need more people like you, right? Let's see, a worth job report since 2003. Yeah, because you're talking about how they gutted America and so forth. It was bad, man. This is early Obama, right? Because he became the president early Obama. Early, I mean, not old. We're talking about Bush. Wait a minute, I got to take that back. You know what I'm saying? Bush Jr. Look at you loving a man who, hold on. Let me say that. Look at you loving on a man who wouldn't spit in your, spit. And so, okay, a man wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. He must be talking about Donald J. Trump. I would say he's talking about Obama. Yeah, I agree with you. Let's go and get it corrected. Yeah, Obama wouldn't even spit on me to put me out for a fire. You right about that. Obama would not do it. Obama it didn't help his own people at all. He's supposed to be half black. He ain't do ish when it come down to nothing. And that's okay with people like this guy here. You know what I'm saying? He's okay with that. What else? No, I'm talking about jobs haven't been, oh my goodness, here this is. This is not true. Trump is laying down the groundwork for jobs to be here. Remember, the job market has been gutted to illegals in this country. It's going to keep it real. The reason that you bringing that point up, because look at it. Why should they pay your ass when they can pay an illegal immigrant worker? Right? It's a fact. This is one of the main. We can't handle the truth, but it's the truth. Trump put on a relentless hunt to crack down on these illegal immigrants because they don't pay into our taxes. They steal and take our jobs away. Look at the trucking industry. The reason that you're saying that now is coming back around. Look at all the arrests. They've been cracking down, locking up a lot of these Brajibs and all these Punjabis and all the rest of them, right? Now we're seeing the job market is starting to return. Do you realize right now that you can get a truck driving job? They got a big demand for truck drivers. I've seen it. They got everything, man. It's a good time to be a trucker right now. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't just the only one. The manufacturing plants. Honda is over here. They're about to set up in Indiana. They're about to set up over there, I think in North Carolina for Toyota, Volkswagen. There are so many businesses, I'm talking about corporations that are doing business. The American jobs, American businesses are coming back to America, man. That's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? You have down here, I didn't vote, Spencer Space says, I didn't vote for Trump, right? I didn't vote for Trump. Shame on you. Why you ain't vote for Trump? Thinking he would help me personally. I voted for Trump to help America. I know, right? I know. I'm just teasing. But yeah, that's the thing about it. We didn't vote for Trump there. But here's the thing: Trump is going to help us if we're going to benefit it personally. You know why? Because of the jobs. Okay, let me read it here again. Thank you. I didn't vote for Trump, right? Thinking he would help me. I know what you meant. I know what you meant. Yeah, okay, got you. I don't mind reading it again too. I love to read. I voted for Trump to help America. I got you. Yeah, I know what you meant. I'm just teasing you. I know what you meant, Space. I got you. But but see, this is the thing though. People are so selfish, Space, today because they want Trump to do something for them personally. And that was never his intent. It was about the country. Yeah, no, I got you though. It's about the country. The looking at yourself bigger. Like I said earlier, when you look at the aviation and the people that was working, they could have all quit. Said I ain't getting paid. Some of them did, but the ones stuck around and look at them being rewarded now, $10,000 bonuses for staying on the job, carrying it out. Those are the real patriots, right? Exactly, right? It's a it's for the betterment. What is worth the few when the many, right? The many outweighs the few, right? I love this old Balkan thing, though. Yeah, Omega told me that's where it came from. It just told me it was really a liberal talking point originally, is what Omega said. But I can flip it back around because the many outweighs the few, right? And that's exactly what it is. We all live in America, just like they have freedom of speech. They can get in here and say what they want to say. You know what I'm saying? As long as they're not doing it with violent tendencies, preaching hate and all this other kind of stuff. But yeah, man, we are there, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I wear this hat. Make America great again, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. I got this last year at the Trump rally. You know what I'm saying? So I got a few Trump hats. I got a dark MAGA cap as well. I gotta get to 2008 one. The next time y'all probably see me, for sure, I'm gonna be wearing that 2008 Trump hat. They'll be back in the room going crazy, going bananas, spitting, hollering, yelling. But I really appreciate y'all, man. Space for hanging around, man. You guys have been great and things, but yeah, it's a wonderful thing though too. The black community is starting to be changes right now. Black women now, some of them are turning their viewpoints around. They've been looking at this stuff, this far leftist stuff. They even had to say, "Damn, why are we over here supporting Obama and Biden when we didn't get ish from the deal?" All these, what? A lot of blacks started flipping and changing around, especially in Chicago, because they saw the influx of illegal immigrants and how blacks were being passed over. Was the turning point for black in the so-called black community. This is one of the main reasons where you see a lot of sisters now. You got a podcast with the conservative sisters called Poppin' Politics. They're out of Maryland, Baltimore area, right? They got a successful podcast show, way more popular than me. and we be talking about the same old issues. But it's refreshing when you see a woman, black, white, and others speak conservative. Conservative women are very attractive right now, not liberal women. Conservative women are very attractive. The problem with conservative women, a lot of them are married, for good reason. We don't want a lot of these liberal chicks crazy whacked out. You know what I'm saying? Space says, thank you for the chat. Hey, Space, I appreciate you, man. First time here, man. I always love seeing new faces or new letter. I should say new words, new names in here. There we go. Yep. Heather, too. I appreciate you. I had to pin her thing up. You all brought something positive to the chat. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. I got my soup and other stuff, and I got to get to work soon. But I appreciate you guys, man. I'm going ahead and shut it down and things like that. Much love. And when I go live again, because tomorrow I'm going to do it in the morning like I did it today, and we're going to talk about some other things. But yeah, it's been cool. Hey, you have a nice day as well, though, Space. I appreciate you, man. You have a nice day as well. And you guys as well, please like, comment, subscribe, share this information. Space, you too. Share this information with other people, though, and things like that. And this is how we're going to be victorious on the midterms because this is not a regular election before I finally go. This is a fight for our country, right? Fight for the republic, right? Constitution. Yep. Trump is a constitutional president. This is another reason why I voted for him. Okay, guys, y'all take care. God bless, and I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Peace.